Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Ignite session 3.
Yay.
Awesome. So Montaga, how veteran or how new are you to real estate?
Oh, okay. I guess I will put my camera so at least you can see some faces.
Yeah.
I started February.
Oh
So
gosh. Okay. So you're like tenured compared to me.
I am very much a veteran here.
That's awesome. I was 1 week being licensed on Tuesday. So a week and 3
Really?
days.
Wow,
Yeah, I'm
nice,
about
nice.
as newborn baby as you can get right now.
Wow,
All good.
congratulations. Well, I think Ignat is the place to be for everyone right now.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
In particular, us newbies.
Oh, for sure.
So, and it does feel that way. It feels like it's a really good spot. I'm very excited about Ignite and just learning all these tools and, of course, sucking up all the training I can possibly get in.
Definitely. It's a good platform to start with for sure. Builds the foundation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
So yeah, it is very, very good. Sam, what about you? How long have you been doing real estate? Oh, you're on mute, Sam.
I have been, this is week 3. It'll be week 4
Oh, wow. Going on to week 4. Good for you.
Monday.
Incredible. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Bree, I know you sound like a vet. Like on the last session with
Oh,
Brenda
sorry.
Kennedy. Yeah, you
Can you hear
sounded
me?
like yeah, yeah. I can now. You were breaking up a bit, but that's okay. So Bree, yeah, you sounded like a vet. Like you've been doing this for a while.
I got licensed in October of 2020.
So relative to me, you are a vet. Like you are hardcore right now.
Almost 1 year.
Wow,
Yeah.
good for you.
And my mom's an agent for 17 years. So I've been exposed to the industry since I was like 10. So
And you still said, yeah, that's what you want to do. That's a good sign.
I've always him and hawed. Always one day thought I would get into it. I came from the tourism hospitality industry because that's what my schooling is. And of course, I was in management in hotels. So the hotels are falling apart. So good time to switch careers.
Well, and fantastic. Good for you. And it really is about service, right? So I think that you've chosen a nice segue into something that'll fit your skill sets very well.
And I worked weird hours my whole life, from like weekends, holidays, nights, like early mornings. So it's nothing too drastic. I never worked your typical 9 to 5.
Fair enough. No, that is incredible. Good for you. Like in a former life, many, many moons ago, I was in food service as well. So I was used to like the vampire existence. And then of course the odd hours and never getting a holiday. So
Yeah,
that's incredible. Thanks. I'm probably going to copy some names down here because there are going to be some people I need to tap into to help me figure things out. So, and I recognize obviously the other newbies that joined up along with me. So Dennis and Jen and Joanne off the top of my head that I can see in this view. That's awesome. Jamie, what about you? Oh, you're on mute, Jamie.
How long I've been on the industry?
Yeah.
September 2020.
Okay, still like a vet compared to me.
I guess I wouldn't consider myself a vet with only 7 months, 7 months in any industry, but I've got a lot of life experience as Bree was sharing. So I was a builder for, well, I say I've got about 30 years experience of building because my great grandfather was a builder. My grandfather, my father, my brothers, you know, I came home from university with a master's in counseling and wasn't getting busy and thought, oh, well, let's build some houses. We got busy, did that for 12 years. You know, so yeah, there's a lot of skills that are going to transfer over, but I would never consider myself a vet in in the real estate industry. I agreed very much with the lady speaking yesterday. I do not consider myself a salesperson nor a realtor. I'm trying to help people through this very stressful time of buying a home, because that's one of the leading causes of divorce and stress.
Yeah.
Buying a home, loss of loved ones, divorce, you know, you name it. So it's a hard time, and I feel like I've got a lot of skills for building and helping at this time.
That's wonderful. So I think Angela has got everything set up to go.
Mm.
So I'm gonna
Hi, guys.
step back. Hey.
Well, I'm just trying to get this on to, I want to be able to see it. I want to see you guys and still my screen. So, and it's so different when I have all my group on here every Monday. I'm just like, oh, click. Yeah, that's what I wanted. But then I'm like in here and I can't ever remember how to do it.
Did you see that picture I emailed you with the grad picture?
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I went and took that when I went and grabbed my transcript for my license, right? Because then mine was all packed in storage. So I went down, I'm like, where is that? So I'm looking around, can't find it. The ones they have now are so nice, and ours is just like plain.
Well, and if you look at my photo, you'd probably never know it was me. So,
Oh yeah. But but when I zoomed in, it's like right faded. But yeah. But I'm not in that one.
no, you're not. All right. Well, I can't figure it out. I know I just have to click different views and for some to attach so that I can have like, I can see you and it. This
Is the view in the top right-hand corner, that icon, is that helping you at all?
I saw it a second ago. I think it's every time I share my screen, then it like the little spot goes away. Maybe if just bear with me. That's my speaker. That's participants. That's chat. Advanced sharing options. No, I just want to change my view. Pause recording, breakouts. Nope, doesn't want to let me do it today. That's okay. I just have to, I just like seeing everyone, you know? All right. So hilariously, I got cut off right when I'm telling my story on Monday, I think it was. I like called the office. It's like, this is a 3-hour course. They gave me 2 hours to do it and we started late and I'm a chatter. I had no hope. So,
Sherry's been helping quite dramatically until you came. So you might want to use her once in a while to help you keep things going. She's quite a chatter too.
Yeah. I don't suffer from shyness, do I, Angela?
absolutely not.
No, I don't know if you were here, Jamie, on the one that she taught before, but Angela and her husband are the reason that I joined KW.
That we are. No, you're fantastic. And no, you are not shy. All right. I think Brenda Kay, did she teach yesterday's course?
Yeah.
Okay,
Was
good.
it yesterday or Wednesday?
Wednesday? I don't know.
Wednesday.
Whichever day it was.
Yeah.
The second session.
The second session. So really, I mean, we didn't get to go over a lot in session one because we were cut off. You know, the biggest things that we didn't go over were things like, getting prepared, right? Because session one's all about getting prepared. So making sure that you kind of did a little bit of a schedule for yourself, and you should be throughout this entire process, you should be time blocking when you're going to do things, and you should be preparing. You will have a mission statement at the end of every class. And so did everyone get that from Brenda on Wednesday for this class, to kind of go over your mission statement and what you should have had done already?
Not that I recall, but I had to leave early, so.
Well,
There's-
go ahead.
We all received it. So yeah, we're supposed to be ahead of it. I actually didn't do it last night. Had other things on the go that was getting some leads, so I didn't have time.
All right. Well, your mission statement is essentially, these are fundamental things that are just, especially for those who are new, that are really just going to set up the business, right? So if I look at, the mission statement, it says, complete your 10 and 4 daily. Did she go over, just because I didn't have the chance to go over your 10-4, did she go over that a little bit? Exactly what that is?
No, I don't.
Okay, so I'm going to go into that today. All right.
So what section are you going into right now, please, Angela? We're sorry.
No worries. So I'm just kind of talking, to be honest.
Yeah, I need directions, sorry.
That's okay. So just listen to me for the next couple minutes. Each session, you essentially will have a mission statement at the end of your pages, right? So every time that you print these off and you get to your end. So if we were to flip to the end of your pages, you're going to see your mission statement for next class. All right. And it's on, I believe, page 39 for you guys. And that mission statement is literally going to say, make sure you complete your 10-4 daily. And I'll go into that a little bit. Write your notes. I'll go into that a little bit. Report it out. Make sure you bring supplies to class. So again, we're usually in class, so it is a little different. You are home or wherever you are. And so I'm just going to, go through each of these things, but essentially at the end of every class, you are going to see a mission statement. So it's just, see, it's right here, the one I have up on the screen. Complete your mission statement. And these are things that, are really important so that you're prepared for what's being taught next. Okay. What is your 10-4? Your 10-4 is your daily activities. It is essentially adding 10 contacts into your database every day, finding and preparing 10 contacts to talk to every single day, writing 10 notes. And I'll get into that a little bit because I'm kind of unorthodox. And the reason I am is because, I've been through a million trainings myself. And as we go through this, you will find that sometimes you're not going to have the ability to do some of these items. And I'm going to, a lot of the instructors are like, okay, do your 10 notes right now. And you're all going to look at me going, 10 notes for what? I got nobody. Like there's nobody to do notes for, right? Because you're kind of at the beginning. So what I'm going to do is, during these classes, and every instructor is different and everyone's volunteering to do this. So it's a little different than, if one instructor taught this whole class and then you guys every day came in and did the same thing with the instructor. And we were in class and whatever. But, like all the instructors are volunteers. So I can't guarantee that they're all going to do it the exact same way, that they're all going to follow the exact scripts, or they're going to make you do exactly what you should do written on all these training courses. Does that make sense? The big thing is that the more you do, the more you will get out of this. The more you do within these courses, by the end of it, the more business you actually will have. But we can only push as far as we can push, because if you have no one written down at this moment, then you have nobody to to make a call to, and you have nobody to write a note to. So my goal is not just, we're going to talk about where do we find business, but we're also going to talk about, you know, a couple strategies. We're going to work through this with you, because I find that when I take a lot of trainings, they're expecting a lot from you. They're expecting you to have all your information ready to go. Like, okay, if I were to look at everybody and say, okay, I want you all on the phones right now, and I want you to call 10 people. Do you all have 10 people to call right now?
Yeah, like it says, make 10 connections, and I'm looking at it going, how on earth would I ever do that today?
Exactly. So, and that's why I'm a little unorthodox, because I want to really work with you, so that I find the biggest block is that, you know, I say, oh, okay, do 10 calls. And then everyone's either like terrified, not a clue who to call, not a clue what to do. And so really what everyone does is they pretend they're busy, pretend they're thinking, or some of them just check out. Some people will be like, okay, I'm really going to do this. And maybe you do have one or two people, but that's kind of the progression, right? You either have a couple people, you don't, and you actually think about it. You don't, and you pretend you think about it, or you check out. Right. And I'm gonna say I have been all four of those people at some point within the trainings. Right. Not this one, but like the trainings I've done over the years. So I get it. Like I 100% get it. So I'm going to explain to you what they kind of are. I am going to give you guys the opportunity to have some time to make those calls and stuff. But I am going to work through this with you guys to see if I can even get every person today on this call to understand one person, you know, and maybe we'll find 5, maybe we'll find 10, but if we can have everyone find one person that they understand who they're calling and why they're calling, then I think that's successful. Wouldn't you guys say?
Sorry, what was your name again?
Absolutely.
Can't see. Hello?
Hello, I'm
sorry. What was your name? I don't see your picture down here.
Angela Lehman.
Angela, yes. Let's say, okay, so I've actually got 4 buyers that I'm working with, and you know, no, I don't have a buyer's agreement signed with them. So yeah, I'm working extra hard nurturing them. Okay. So does that count as making 4 contacts? Because I email them new listings every day. I chat them up on what sort of options that I found in the houses that they like. Does that count as making 10 new contacts or 10 contacts?
Well, I think it's yes, I think that that's making 10 contacts. However, I will say that you've kind of already, you know, you kind of already have solidified your relationship with them. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't be they're not going to be part of 10 new ones. But you can make a plan that they could be 10 of the people that, you know, or one of the 10 people that you make sure you contact, just as long as you're not putting your weight on those people saying, oh, I'm busy. Because as much as you're nurturing them now, but you need more peas they're a pea on a plate. And I say this analogy to all my team members, and they make fun of me because they say, oh, Angela, peeing on plates again. But they are a pea on a plate. And a lot of people up there, they will say, oh, you have your peas on a plate. And then every once in a while, a pea falls off. You know, it either falls off because, you know, they're not going to buy or sell anymore, or it falls off because you've made, you know, a sale, essentially. And for me, I keep my peas on that plate all the time. It's a very different mindset. You don't, you know, you think the pea fell off the plate. No, grab the pea, put it back on. Oh, someone bought or sold. Yeah. And that falls off, grab it, put it back on. They're always your peas on a plate. So you have these 4 buyers and they're a pea on your plate right now, but you need more peas. Like if all 4 of those buyers were to go away, what would you be left with? Nothing. So the goal is that it doesn't matter how many people you're working with or how many people, you know, you really have, you know, I'm feeling really good about this. I got 4 buyers. That means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. And the reason it means nothing is because if you focus just on those 4 people and they're like your calls, then what happens is you're very transactional. You go up and then you finish that transaction and now you're searching for more people. Well, if you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to have huge gaps in your paychecks.
Yeah, no, I know that they don't, I know that they don't count as my 10. I just meant, do they count towards my 10? Yeah, I understand that I have to be constantly building, nurturing relationships with more than, the 4 buyers. I just was wondering, sorry, too much theory and not enough practicality in my question.
Oh, that's okay. So I guess, yes, you could use those. As your database gets bigger, you're obviously, they're not going to come up on your 10 for the day, right? Because you're going to add and add. And if you're adding 10 people every day and you're doing your 10-4, you're eventually, they become something different. If you know that you're actively working with them, then you need to, they're part of something different. So I always set, make sure they're set up on a portal. And then I always tell my people, make sure that a weekly, and everyone is different, but make sure you have like a weekly reminder in your system to say, if I haven't reached out to them, because maybe they're just checking out the portal. And if they are, that's a touch and it's like an automatic touch and you don't really have to do anything, but as long as you're checking in with them once a week to find out what's happening in life. So that'll be a little different than actually prospecting, right?
Angela, what does the 4 mean? So 10 is 10 contacts. That's
okay.
kind of like, what's 4?
10 contacts every day. So it's 10 of 4 or 4 of 10. So 10 contacts added every single day.
Yeah.
10 people contacted from your database every single day, right? And you're saying to yourself, well, if I'm adding 10 people, wouldn't I be contacting those 10 people? Yeah, in theory. But I think that if you're adding new people, you add the people in and you contact them, that's fine. I believe you should be doing 10 additional. Okay.
Yeah.
10 notes. And again, I'm going to get into what the notes are because, a lot of people, it's basically like if you've made contact with someone, you actually have to hand write a note and mail it out. That's not always going to work. That's not always right. So I got a couple of extra ideas. And then it's 10, you should be viewing 10 homes online every day. Just jump online, look them over. And in this market, there's not a whole lot, but if you keep going, eventually what's going to happen is you're just going to start looking at what's new for the day. But you're going to pick 10 in your area or in like a sphere outside your area. And it's going to keep you updated and you'll be surprised how much knowledge about real estate actually enters into your brain if you are viewing, online 10 homes every day. And then you should be try to view 10 homes a week. And again, that is just going to get you experienced. In this market, especially with COVID, some people would frown upon going into the homes if you don't have buyers. But it's kind of our job to know what's happening in your area, right? So, we have a hand up.
Yeah, what was the second one? The contacts, and then I got the notes, and the last one. What was the second one?
So you have add 10 people into your database.
Yeah.
Talk to 10 people out of your database. 10 notes and 10 viewed properties a day online.
Okay.
And then as the extra bonus, view 10 in person a week.
On the
So
back of the mission, it has the website you can go to track all this stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a tracker.
So when I look, are we looking at mission 3 today? Is that what?
So mission 3 is for the end of, basically for the end of, it's going to be your homework. Okay. It's
At
everything.
the end of this, right?
So
one of the things is about joining the chambers. I'm already in them. Do I just check it off?
Yep. And there are going to be things, especially people who have been in other businesses. You are going to have a lot of these things already.
Right. Okay.
All right. So that's your 10.
I printed off all my missions.
All good. Okay, so lead generation. Just 1 second, because I wanted to talk about the notes and I wonder if they had, I can't remember if they go into it a little later. No, I'll talk about it now, just in case. Okay, so people always ask, what are these 10 notes? When really, what am I doing? Because it kind of feels weird, right? Like I'm going to go buy some note cards from the dollar store and I'm going to mail some notes. Why? Why am I doing it? What is the purpose? So the biggest thing that I can say to you is when you take up someone's time, and so let's say you're actually, you know, talking to some leads, and I'm not talking about like you called your sphere of influence and, you know, just kind of talked a little bit and real estate came up and whatever. I'm talking about, you know, you did some lead calls and you actually spoke to someone who gave you a referral or talked to you about real estate. Like you're thinking, oh, this person might go somewhere, right? They actually gave you the time of day. And you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to add this person into, you know, my database. And maybe they're already there, but, you know, I'm going to star them because, you know, they actually had a conversation with me. So let's say it's a listing. Let's say you actually know where they live. You buy some notes at the dollar store, you write the note out, and you're literally going to say, you know, thank you so much for the chat. It was really nice talking to you. You know, I appreciate your time. Or, you know, thanks so much for the referral. You know, it was really nice chatting with you. It's going to depend on the person, but you are literally going to thank them for giving you the time of day. And all it is a second touch. So if you know where they live, pop that in the mail, no issue. Now you say to yourself, how often do we actually know where they live? I mean, not a whole lot. I mean, unless you're pulling it from the phone book or you like know them personally, or it's like a for sale by owner or something, you know what I mean? Like, so, you know, you're only going to have a handful of times where you actually know them. So then you say to yourself, I either, you know their number or I have their email address. If you've actually had a phone call, you know their number, but not everyone uses their cell phones. Maybe you have their home phone and that's not gonna work. So you say to yourself, if I can't write a note, what are my other options? Well, the next best option is a text message. You know, give it 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. And you're literally going to text them and say, you know, thank you so much for the conversation today. You know, I appreciate your time and I look forward to hearing from you again. Or I look forward to talking with you again. And then if last but not least, you know, you have an email address because, you know, you talk to them on the phone, but you know, it's, you know, you can search that up if it's a cell phone or not. If you know it's a home phone number, and I recommend looking it up. Because if you don't, sometimes the text messages will get sent as an automatic to their phone, or it won't go at all. But you can just send an email. You know, thanks for the chat on the phone. And if you don't have any of that information, if you don't have their home, if it's not a text phone, like if it's not a cell phone and you don't have their email, well, then you can't do it.
What about property online? Like I've been looking at people's addresses on property online.
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, I think there's like a thing where, you know, my issue is if you are talking to someone on the phone, then all of a sudden they get a card to their house, they may be like, stalker. You know, it's the same reason why here in Canada we don't do expireds, because you're technically not allowed to go look someone's information up. Does that make sense? Like we have access to it, but if there's an expired listing, you're not allowed to look them up on property online and then go mail them a package. Right? Like that's not a thing. So in the States, you are allowed to do expired listings, and in Canada, you're not. So a lot of people are like, well, how do you get around that? Well, typically you get around it if it's in your neighborhood. And so right here, I look out my window and I see 2 homes at the bottom of my street that are currently listed. So let's say their signs come down. Now I'm a realtor and I go look that up and, oh, it expired. or canceled. I can now go grab a package and I can go knock on that door and say, listen, I live just up the street and I noticed that you didn't sell. Here's my package. Right? Because I physically saw it with my eyes. Whereas if you go and you're like, pick a completely different neighborhood and you're just going through property online, finding the people that didn't sell and you're mailing them packages, that's a no-no. So do you see the difference? I mean, I don't know why expireds are illegal in Canada, but they just are. So yeah, so sometimes you don't have the availability to do a note, but I will say a note is either written, and written is going to be your best way, but a text message is also a really good way to do it. And an email if you have the ability to do email. And if there's nothing, well, you got nothing, but it's just an added touch and just literally showing your appreciation for their time. Okay. So I'm going to get into it. Lead generation for your business. I'm not exactly a person that's huge on affirmations. And this, a lot of what Keller Williams is, so that's all what we just talked about there. A lot of what Keller Williams is affirmations, is talking it out and saying to yourself, like if you're having a down day or if you're like really nervous or, saying what it is that you want to believe. And, they usually say what you focus on expands. And I truly believe that. So I personally am not a huge, I'm not like a huge affirmation person, and I'm not spiritual. I'm not right. Like I'm a very straight and narrow person. I have a hard time emotionally with things. But I do believe, through all these trainings and from what I know as myself as a person, I do believe affirmations and whatever you believe in and whatever you can muster up about yourself. I guarantee you they work, because they put your mind in a different mindset, especially from someone who comes from, anxiety and oh, Andrew just walked in. Let me go shut my door, guys. His voice is so loud. If anyone's ever heard Andrew before, he's got like this insanely low, bellowy voice, and I could hear him outside. That's how bad it is. Yeah, affirmations. So, muster up whatever you can. And some people have a really hard time with this. And I did it first as well. And it's just kind of something you have to say in your head. Like, if I'm having a hard time with something, then maybe I should do it. Maybe I should try it, because it might actually do something good for you. So one of them that they say is, if, you really want to start this business, you say opportunities come easily to me. We all know that's not the truth. We all know real estate's hard, and anyone who has told you, oh, get into real estate, it's super easy, anyone can do it, that's a lie. It is not easy. And I won't say, everyone can't do it. Anyone can do it, absolutely. But most people won't. And so therefore, not everyone can do this. Real estate's hard, and opportunities come through hard work. Every once in a while, you get a nice little horseshoe. Those are always great. But at the end of the day, it takes communicating with people. It takes hard work. So if you every morning are having a hard time, say opportunities come easy to me. I have no problem talking to people. I am successful. You'd be surprised. And again, I'm not a big affirmation person. But I truly believe what you focus on expands. Okay. Someone who is really down, they'll continue being down. Someone who's like, oh, I'm no good at this. Well, you're no good at this. You're absolutely correct. Whatever you say. Right. And that's kind of the way life works. Our brains are meant to focus on what we're focusing on. So if you're like, I'm making calls today, I'm going to sit down, I'm making a plan, I'm going to figure this out, and I'm doing 10 calls, and I'm not going to do something else until I do it, then that's what's going to happen. And at any moment that within those 10 calls, you start to feel like, oh, why am I doing this? I hate doing this. You're putting that negative in your brain again. You got to go, nope, I love doing this. I'm going to call these people and it's going to be great. Just lie to yourself. All right. Yourself doesn't know you're lying if you lie to yourself. That's the best advice I can give you for that.
It's a law of attraction, right? The
Law of
secret.
attraction. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So this next section, we're supposed to obviously get you out and lead gen. But I'm gonna talk. So this is my thing. If you have 10, if you have 10 people prepared and you're like, I know what I'm doing, I got this, by all means, mute the class, mute yourself, start calling people. If you're like, I'm not ready yet, let's have a little chat. Okay. So you always should prepare, and you're going to want to write down their name, their phone number. And then if you guys should see on page 8 a little chart that says, I got an appointment, I got a referral name, or the result of the call. So this is like your little sheet that kind of says, what am I doing and how did I succeed with this? But let's talk about, before you start that, who are you calling? There's a couple scripts. Scripts are really great. There are a lot of people out there, including myself at one point, hated scripts, hate them. However, I have learned through my many years that all the people telling us to do scripts, there's a trick. And I never thought about it because I just didn't get it. I'm just like, I'm reading these. They're stupid. That's what I thought. I'm reading these. It doesn't sound like me. That's not how I would speak. Does everybody kind of feel that way about scripts? You're reading them and you're like, man, I sound so fake. Like, I don't want to do this. And then you always say, you know what? I'm going to kind of read this, but then I'm going to, say it in my own words, right? You hear that a lot from people. That's kind of what people think in their head. So what did I learn about scripts? Because I was just like you. I don't need these. They don't sound like me. I'm not doing them. I don't like them. And this is what I learned. You are supposed to go through these and practice these and say them out loud and have a script partner and over and over and over again. And this is what eventually happens. Eventually, all that information seeps into your brain. And you start talking to people and you don't even know the scripts are coming out of your mouth. And you start to talk to them in who you are. But all the information is it's like, it. So when I first started scripts, I used to read word for word. I have ADD, disclaimer. And so what would happen is I'm trying to read this. I'm not really paying attention to the person. And I tend to skip ahead to read the next things. And I sound like a fool. I really, really do. Because I'm like, I'm so sorry. Blah, blah, blah. So scripts are very difficult for me, but they're necessary. You need to be practicing them. And I'm supposed to tell you that you're supposed to read word from word. I have a really hard time with that. My suggestion is you do need to practice these. I don't like having them in front of me when I'm actually talking to people. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll practice and I'll practice and I'll practice. And then I'll take some key things that sometimes I have a hard time remembering and I'll write them on a paper, like my little reminder. And those reminders, I know that when I'm talking to the person, I'm like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then I look at the paper and I see my reminder words. I know what it is I'm supposed to say because I've practiced the script. But I get to talk to these people in my words. Now, for those who have no issues doing these scripts and you want to go word for word, I mean, better for you because they're tested, they're true, they work. But they are going to feel, if you don't know them, they are going to feel like you're kind of stumbling through them and that you're reading a template because you are. right? So has anyone, I'm going to open the floor. Has anyone tried any scripts? Has anyone reviewed any?
Not in this industry, in my other industry.
Okay, so you're used to scripts. We've
Same.
had a couple people I see raise their hand.
I have as well.
And what do you guys feel about scripts? What is the general consensus?
I agree with you. I find them a little too fake, and I had to just kind of tweak it a little to what I liked it.
Well, and I think the big thing is that they only feel fake because it's not you. But if you read them and read them and read them and read them and read them, they naturally will become you, right? You will eventually will take this information, soak it into your brain, and it'll just come out. So it's the difference between when I first started talking to people, I'm like, hi, my name's Angela. I'm with Keller Williams, and I'm giving you a call today. And, especially objection handling. That was the big one, because we can all have a conversation, hi, it's Angela, I'm with Keller Williams. Your name was given to me by, that becomes second nature. Someone gives a name to you, hi, Jeremy gave me your name and said that you were looking at maybe buying or selling, right? That's easy. Objection handling, that's hard, right? So, it really depends on the script. They're giving you the foundations, and this stuff does work. And the big thing that you have to realize is it sounds fake because you're not used to doing it, right? But once you're used to doing it, it's not fake anymore, it's you. So that's the only advice I can give to you. So there is a script in here for calling as if someone had given you referrals. But again, does anyone have a referral that they were given that they can make a call on right now? Okay, so you do. So you can kind of use this script. And that's what I'm saying. Not everyone's going to be able to use the same scripts today, because not everyone has been given a referral. Now, that's going to be part of your homework every single time you come in. You're supposed to be doing your 10-4 every day, so that let's say yesterday you did your 10-4 and you made 10 calls and someone gave you a referral. Well, then when you come to class today, that's your homework. Now you can call that person during class and say, hi, so-and-so gave me your name and said that you might be looking for something in real estate, right? Blah, 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 and continue it on. So a lot of people are like, well, how do I get these names? It's from doing your 10-4 every day. So we have the referral script, as if someone had given you a referral and you're now going to call them. And I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to look over these. Some other scripts in here is that you're new to real estate. So essentially, this is going to be for your sphere of influence. If everyone's like, I know some people have been a couple months and some people have been a couple days. So really it's going to, depend on how much you've done already, how much you've already contacted your sphere of influence. But sometimes just giving a quick call, and, 9 times out of 10, I find that you don't get the people, but you can leave a quick voicemail. Hi, it's Angela Lehman. Not, and maybe it's someone that from your past. Not sure if you remember me, like maybe it's, from school. Not sure if you remember me, we went to school together, but I'm new into real estate, and I just, I'm with Keller Williams. It's super exciting. And just read the script, right? So they have, with this new partnership, I have all the knowledge working for me. Plus my clients get my enthusiasm and hard work. I thought about sharing this news with you because I knew you would be someone to help me grow my business. Now, that sounds really great, and it's not wrong. I would suggest throwing your own little flair into there, right? Because you may not have all that same vocabulary. Don't veer too much off the scripts. If there's a different word that you can pick for something because it feels odd to you, go ahead, look up the thesaurus and find a different word. But you're, for the most part, if you read that over and over and over and over and over again and it got in your brain, you would now say, hi, it's Angela Lehman. I just started this awesome career in real estate, and I'm just letting the people in my life who I believe would help my business grow know that I'm in business. I'm with Keller Williams. It has a huge support team. And I am super excited to get started. You know, just doing a little, you know, because we're on voicemail, maybe, you know, just doing a little shout out. And if you know anyone who's thinking of buying and selling, I would absolutely love if you put my name out there, or give me a call and let me know who they are. Right? You have a fantastic day, and we'll catch up later. So, you know, it really depends, because if I'm talking to my friend Joanne, I'm going to give a call. And if Joanne answers, I'm like, hey girl, right? Like, because she's my girl. And she's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, oh, you probably already know, but I got to make some calls. And I'm reaching out to my sphere of influence, because those are the people that are going to support me the most, because I know you support me. And I'm just letting you know that I'm in real estate, and just to think of me, because if you hear of someone buying and selling, you know, give my name out there. And she's like, yeah, definitely. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I'll catch up with you later. And she's like, right on. Right. So, you know, and I'm not going to speak the same way to every single person, because, you know, I'm going to be that very professional person to the people that I don't necessarily know, or perhaps don't know me personally. Because I'm two different people. I'm super, like, I guess I'm never super professional, but, you know, like I'm really, you know, well-spoken, and it depends on who the person is. But if you got me with my girls and I'm at the camp, then, you know, I'm going to be a slight more ghetto. So, right. So you're going to have different people at different times, and it's only those people who know you the best. You are going to change the language, because there's no way that I would call up a family member and be this formal, right? So the scripts are really good. You do practice them, and they will melt into your brain, and then allow you, with each different person, you'll know the information. Okay, that's the whole point. So we have new to real estate. We have new to Keller Williams. So maybe some of you have come from a different brokerage, and that one's perfect, because it's a little easier to reach out, and it makes sense to tell your sphere of influence you've moved. You know, hey, it's Angela, just wanted to give you a quick call. I wanted to let you know that I actually switched my business over to Keller Williams. I'm not with so-and-so anymore. And I mean, you can read here, you know, I'd like to share some exciting news with you. Usually I'm the one helping people move. So again, you know, you can do what you want with it, but it's really going to depend on who you're speaking to. Okay. Read them over, you know, you're going to know what feels right. But for anyone that is new, the closer you can stick to the scripts without feeling like a knob, the better you're going to be.
See, now I've sort of taught myself what works for me, and I won't fall into this. I know I won't. So, and it's because that, and I just find it's too salesy. So I want to come out and I want to talk to them first and see how they're doing, and have a conversation about that before I ever get to what about me. And because I want them to feel important before I start talking about me. And that's the one thing that I find opens the conversation, because if it's just all about me, then they have no reason to continue the conversation.
Very true.
Yeah.
So these are kind of the, you know, you're just getting your feet wet type of thing. Okay. You're right. It is going to depend on who you are and what you feels right. Again, what I say is you read these and practice these, and your normal person will come out. And however you want to start your conversation, that's completely up to you guys. And if you know the person well enough to have a quick conversation with them beforehand, then you can go into, well, you know, not to cut this short, but the reason my call today was I'm just letting everybody know that, you know, I'm new into real estate and I'm looking for their support. Right. So there's a million different scripts out there. There's a million different things that you can say depending on who you're talking to. One of your biggest goals in this whole thing, and we'll actually get into that. I have all you guys showing. So we already talked about handwritten notes. We already talked about your scripts. There's a page I want, and I'm jumping ahead, and I don't care. because it's important and you guys kind of just fell right into it, so. I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit. We can do some,
I apologize for my camera not being on, but I'm currently working on an offer.
oh, no worries.
Yeah, that's awesome, Jessica.
Yeah, congrats, Jess.
Thank you. I actually have one accepted offer right now and I'm working on a backup.
Good job. Never apologize for that.
Hey, I'm loving it. At least I'm getting something.
Great. All right, I can't find it, but that's okay. All right, where were we? I'll just keep going. What were we talking about? Oh, so scripts, we talked about scripts.
And do handwritten notes, I guess.
We talked about handwritten notes. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna have a lot of different reasons on how to call people. And before we actually get into calling, I want to talk about, you know, where are we going to find leads? So everybody knows that, you know, you have to lead generate. And a lot of us are currently doing it from our sphere of influence. Would that be correct? You're basically like reaching out to people and letting them know you're in real estate and
Exactly.
That's
you
where
know,
I'm going to start.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, why are you calling? There's really only 3 reasons why you're going to make a call. I wish I could find the page. You essentially are going to make a call to ask for business. You're going to make a call to ask for a referral. And if neither of those happen, well, at least you made a business, you made a connection. All right. A lot of people, you know, were taught you either need an appointment or need a referral. Well, you can't get an appointment for someone who's not looking for real estate. It's just not happening. And you're not going to get a referral if they can't think of anyone. Like, so 9 times out of 10, you know, you're going to say, you know, if you hear of anyone, you know, throw my name out there or give me a call and let me know who they are. But that's going to come later, right? So when I did this in bold, and I made some calls to like my past clients and my current clients. And it was all about, you know, really just asking for referrals. And, you know, it still makes me sick to my stomach when I have to call and ask for referrals, because I'm always like, oh, I hate asking for anything. I come from contribution always. So to ask that question is hard. It really is hard, because you're like, bothering people, right? And that's, you just kind of say yourself, you're not bothering them. If they don't want to talk to you, they won't pick up their phone. And if they don't know anybody, they don't know anybody. You say, thank you. Say, cool, I'll talk to you, you know, tomorrow. Maybe it's a current client. Well, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm reaching out, you know, doing my business thing. And ask for those referrals. But at the end of the day, if you don't get either of those, you've created a connection. So don't think that the call was for nothing. Right? So how does everyone feel about that, knowing that when they're making those calls, that it's not, you know, everyone's afraid of rejection and they're afraid of bugging people. Right?
I always feel a touch sheepish when I make that initial dial in and they answer, and I'm like, but the second I hear their voice, they hear mine, I say hi, then it kind of melts away after that. It's almost like stage fright.
It is stage fright.
Yeah. So because you already have at least some, you know, tangential relationship with them, there's always a way to reference it, to say, hey, gosh, you know, ran into you at blah, blah, blah in my former life. I don't know if you even remember this. However, he said, it was really great to meet you. You know, your face kind of stuck with me and I wanted to reach out and let you know what I'm doing now and have that conversation. So there's always a way to segue into it, but dialing and then having them answer, my heart is in my throat every time.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
see, for me, I don't want the message machine. I want the person. And the more you do it, the better you are at it. And from my business, I came from a spot where I dialed 50 numbers every single day to get contacts, and I got really good ones. And I'm pretty good at it. I'm so good at it. Like usually in my 10, 11 dials, I get yeses to things. So But it
Because
comes with
they-
practice.
They
What?
they say that, if let's say you only get a yes every 100 calls.
Yeah.
Well, that means that you're now required to get 99 no's, right? And for some people, it's like 1 out of every 50, right? So it's like, okay, my goal is a yes, 1 out of 50 calls. So you pick up the phone and you're just like, hey, and this is more for cold calling, but hey, I'm so-and-so, and I'm in your neighborhood doing home evaluations, and I was wondering if you were thinking of selling or buying. And if they're like, no, actually, I'm not. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, not a problem. If you ever think of it, my name's Angela Lehman. My number's obviously on your phone. You give me a call back, but I am going to be in your neighborhood for the next 2 weeks. So they said no. You thank for their time, not a big deal. Click, and you go, yeah, no, number 1.
And I think in this business, a lot of people aren't going to say no to you. It's going to be a no right now. Right. I'm not thinking of listing right now, but I might be down the road. Do you know what I mean? Maybe in the future. So I don't think you're going to get solid no's from people in this industry if they first of all know you. So I think that's a good thing about that. And just remember that people don't mind having a conversation, right? It's just a conversation. And the more you do it, the better and better and better you're going to get at it.
Yeah.
And
I
you'll
think
start cluing into the different personality types like Colin was teaching us. And you'll know how you can be with certain people and not be with others. You have to be very professional with some and you be more relaxed with others.
Absolutely. And it's all about a mimicking game. If someone's on the phone and they're very, very like C personality, then you better have some facts. You're going to know the D's. Hello? What do you want? You better be straight to the point. You got about 10 syllables or they're not going to be happy. The S's are, and this is all the DISC personality. And I do recommend that everyone learns it because it is very important. And you kind of learn yourself a little bit too, right? Your C's are the very calculated people and your S's. And you do have to learn how to mimic, right? So if you are a natural D, then you need to do some learning on what the other people are, because you're going to make an S cry. All right. Yeah.
Sina has a question there.
Oh, do we have a?
Yeah.
She wants to know the third reason.
Yeah.
You had said that there's 3 reasons you're calling. One is to ask for business. Anybody, are you buying, selling, and or investing? And the other was a referral. What's the third reason you're calling? Just check in.
So there are 3 things that happen when you do call. So you either are going to get an appointment. So you're asking for the business, you're asking for the referral. And at the end of the day, if neither of those things happen, then you're basically engaging a relationship. They become someone that, in 3 months' time, you call again. You're going to want to do that. Now it's not in here, but something that I teach my team is we do a top contact. So as you get better in this, and really, I think right from the beginning, we do a 12-week program. And what you do is, you have column 12 names, and then you have, 12 spaces at the top, just an Excel spreadsheet. And you're going to put week 1, week 2, week 3, all the way to week 12, and which week it is. I always like start the Monday. Monday is the date I put in. And you're going to put your VIP people. You're going to sit down and you're going to think about who are the top people in my life, and they can be personal, they can be business, but the top people that are going to give me referrals. Maybe they haven't yet, maybe you're very new, but that those people are going to support you. No ifs, ands, or buts, right? So what you need to do is you say to yourself, well, why would I support that? Like, why would I nurture that relationship? I see these people all the time. Sometimes we do. With COVID, we don't. Let's say my cousin knows I'm in real estate. I'm going to give you guys a really big reality check. They don't remember. Their lives are busy. All right. We believe that these people are going to remember that we're in real estate. well, I speak to them all the time. Why would they not? Well, because their lives are busy. They really won't. The number of cousins that I've had, you know, oh, the sold sign goes up. And I'm like, congratulations. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, Ange. I got excited and I just bought.
I have a question about that, Angela, because I've often wondered, because I know some of my family, I know people that are in car sales or people that are in, you know, digital marketing, and it's their family that doesn't do business with them, or, you know, their cousin, say, maybe they knew, but so what would the reasons be why they wouldn't want to use you? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just something, a little bit of thick skin. So if we can have that conversation, that'd be great. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so here are my thoughts. There are some people in this world that do not mix business with pleasure. Just their personalities, you're not going to get around it. Okay, but what I will say is that if they're, let's say, part of your VIP, and you know, maybe you just haven't nurtured that relationship enough. You know, I have a whole bunch of cousins. I see them once a year. So if they don't buy with me or sell with me, I mean, yeah, it's kind of my fault. I'm going to be really honest with you. And you know, I say, you know, we have sometimes some past clients and they'll go with another realtor. And my agents are really upset, right? And sometimes every once in a while, Andrews has a very big bulk of business. You know, we probably have, I don't even know, I'm going to say 600 clients, but it's probably crazier than that. You know, that's impossible. There's no way of, you know, truly connecting with those people, especially the people who like are standoffish and they're not huge social media people. You know, there's no way. So you lose someone and they're upset. They're like, oh, I can't believe they went with someone else. And I'm going to come right back to you. It is your fault. You have not nurtured a relationship, because if you had, they wouldn't have gone somewhere else.
Yeah.
So no matter how mad you get or how much you believe someone won't use you because ... I mean, they could just be a, you know what?
Right.
Some people are.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say 99% it's you. And you've got to break through that barrier, right? Like, oh, they just don't do business with, well, maybe they need to be on your 12-week plan. And so the 12-week plan essentially is you have your top people and, you know, they're all listed and you start off with 12 so that you only, you know, you can do 1 coffee a week. And as you get better, you know, there are trainers out there that are like, no, you should be going on coffees every single day. Anyone? Can I have a raise of hands who's going to go on a coffee every single day with someone? Anybody? No, you're not. And it's, you really have to, you know, you really have to say to yourself, I'm taking on a lot. You need to do what you can do right now and baby steps. So when I start my plan for my team, I give them this sheet and I say, write 12 people down. And if you don't got 12 people, write 5. And you got 12 weeks. And every week you're going to look at that list of people and you're going to go, okay, I got to schedule someone. So you reach your first person and, oh, I can't this week. Cool. No problem. You go to your second person and they're like, yeah, I could do it on Wednesday. Your schedule should be set. You should have a specific time every day that you, for the most part, that you do your coffees. Some people will go on lunch. It really depends on you. Trainers typically say they should be quick 15-minute coffees, you know, because you want to maximize your day. I'm like a 3-hour listing appointment, so I can't do a 15-minute coffee. Like I can't. So
I'm so feeling that. I'm like, it takes me 15 minutes to say hi.
Right. So it's really going to depend on you. And there are going to be a lot of trainers out there that are like, you need to cut that down. And what will happen is the busier you get, you'll know. But I'm a true believer that, you know, if you're booking an hour with someone, book an hour with someone. I know it's great business to cram everyone in and get as much done as possible. But I really think nurturing those VIP lists is very important. And it's gonna, you have to go with the flow. Yeah, I see him.
I think it comes down to quality over quantity as well, right? Like you can try to do as much quantity as you want, but if it's not quality, it's not going to work.
Well, and there's a balance, right? So you will have certain people that you can just grab a 15-minute coffee with because they're just doing it on their lunch break. A lot of people in the business world, you'll notice that, you know, if I'll grab a quick coffee, you'll know it's a quick coffee, right? Because they got to get back to the office. Whereas, you know, if you're nurturing perhaps someone in your sphere of influence, and they're a mom of 4 kids and they're getting away, like, this is not a 15-minute thing. This is give me a break, right? So it is going to be depending on the person, and it's not cookie cutter. You know, and a lot of trainers out there would like it to be, but it's not. So go with the flow, respect your time. I will say that. But essentially you got 12 weeks to fill in, to have a coffee with those 5 people, you know, and so the goal is eventually that list gets bigger and bigger. And so now, you know, you started off with 5, and that means that, you know, you need to try to get a coffee in every second week, right? So maybe you try your first week and, you know, you go through your list and no one's available. And then your second week, oh, you got someone, great. And your third week, you got someone. And then your fourth week, no, of the other 3 people, no one's available. And you keep going. And then as soon as you're done, as soon as you got those 5 people done, you start over. You print out a new sheet, you do your 5, and then you need to think, because as life is going on and business is going on, you're going to meet new people. And you should be, if you're putting 10 new people into your database every day, right? So as you're putting people in your database and you're starting to have these conversations, you're going to know, that person, I bet you they'll give me good referrals. I can feel it. You can feel the ones that are working really well with you. You get them on that VIP sheet and you start adding them. So now we got 12 people. And that means you really need to get 1 coffee a week, or you're not going to get your goal, right, of your 12 people in the 12 weeks. So then let's say, you know, this happens a couple more times and you keep rotating it. Every time you're done those people, you get to the end of 12 weeks, you do a new sheet. And now let's say we got 20 people, 24 people. That means you now 2 coffees a week. Does that make sense to you guys? But it also allows you to track it, because everything you should be doing, you should be tracking, right? Whether it's a note, every time you make a call, do a little check on a piece of paper. And if you got to write, I got to make 10 calls, and you throughout that time, you don't have 10 little dashes there yet, then you're not done. So it's keeping yourself on schedule, but, you know, really nurturing those conversations. Okay. So if we don't have leads, then we can't get appointments, and then we can't make agreements, and then we can't get paid. Right. So it's all a funnel. It's one big funnel. And I know I'm not going like, I'm not showing the screen. I'm looking at you guys, and I could show the screen, but, you know, that's going to mess me all up. So I'd rather just talk. I can go back and find the screen that we should be at. But I'm much better as a talker. I'll put that over. And when I'm in person, I can click it because I'm right there looking at it, but this is very difficult. So yeah, the goal is to lead gen, and we will get on the phone. So we will do some stuff, but I'm just trying to get your head in the game. So, all right. So by doing it here in class, we're basically going to kickstart your business, right? Does anyone know the benefits of prospecting? Go ahead.
Well, with prospecting, every time you look for prospects, you find new things, you learn new things. When I prospect, I'm surprised usually every time by some of the things that I'll find out. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. Right.
Absolutely. And what else? What else is benefits of prospecting?
The phrase back in the day was always be prospecting, or always be cultivating, whatever ABC thing you like, but it's always be, and you need to continuously be feeding that funnel, or at some point it's just going to dry up regardless of how talented or skilled you feel you are. You need to feed the funnel, and that is prospecting.
Absolutely. So what do you guys think the benefits, like, what are some more benefits of prospecting? So we all know that, you know, the peas go on the plate and you're filling up the top of your funnel so that they can eventually go out. But what are some real benefits of active prospecting?
I'd have to say that some of the benefits that I found through prospecting are prospects that I didn't expect to find, in addition to the ones I'm calling. But in the end, it's all about building a business and being accountable and making money and helping people. So prospecting is just a part of, it has to be naturally part of who you are and what you do, I guess.
Yep. And I think that it can't be something, you know, it shouldn't be something fake. Prospecting is in everything we do every day, every person we meet, every, you know, and it's not about being in sales. One of the big thing is it puts you in control of filling up your pipeline. But it also increases your confidence the more you do it, and your skill level, and it'll become second nature. Right?
It all goes back to the thing that they say all the time is don't be a secret agent. You know what I mean? Talk about what you do. Everybody needs to know about what you do. Doesn't matter what it is. You put yourself in those situations and you're talking to people and you find out about other businesses and things that you wouldn't have been able to find out about if you weren't talking to them and approaching them, right? So being top of mind, being different than everybody else in the sense it's a mindset that you have to kind of be in, is that, you know, even though you know other people might be prospecting, just go into it thinking that, you know, maybe they haven't seen somebody come up to them and approach them and have a conversation about their business before, different things like that, right? So everybody needs to know what you do.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is everyone believes that being different means that you have to come up with some crazy new idea. I hate to break it to you, but it has all been done. You are not going to like shatter the ceiling of like something fantastic and inspirational. It's all been done before. But how you're different is through you, because no person is the same. Really shine with who you are. And I will say that if it's hard to do, 90% of people are not doing it. All right. So when you sit there and you're like, oh, I'm going to make a call, I don't even know what to say. Why am I bothering these people? 90% of people are saying that. And guess what? They don't do it. They're not doing it. So the myth, let's go with the myth and the truth of prospecting. The myth is prospecting is annoying people. It's rejection. When I make that call, I have no real reason. I'm just trying to get something from them. I'm just trying to pitch something. I'm a salesperson. They don't want to hear from me, and they're going to tell me, you know, take a hike. They're going to reject us. That's why we don't want to make that call. What's the truth? Anybody know?
We're giving them an option. We're helping them.
Absolutely.
We're letting them know.
Yep. You're not twisting their arm. You're not saying sell your house right now. You're saying, hey, I'm here. Just in case you didn't know, just in case because your life's busy, I'm here. The market's crazy. You thinking of selling? Well, they only got 2 answers. Well, I mean, maybe 3, but you know, yes, I was thinking about it. Or no, I don't want to. I'm staying here forever. Cool. Those are some great answers. I mean, some people are like, yeah, but not right now. But there's only 2 answers. It's not like you're going to go crying. They're not going to be like, you called me. I can't believe you called me. Why would you do that? Like, it's yes or no. And you're like, okay, cool.
I vision of like creeping back through the bushes like Homer Simpson, kind of going, okay, let's back away.
Yeah, like the truth about prospecting is that you essentially are just meeting people, letting them know you're available, letting them know that you exist. You know, you are building a purposeful relationship with these people. And that's it. And then you're building a strong business. All right. So, you know, you got to take the negative out of your mind, that fear that you're bugging them. Oh, I'm asking them for something. So who cares? You're not going to sit on the phone and be like a telemarketer. Well, you know, with Bell, you this and that. And I'm like, well, you know, I'm really not interested. But you know, the special is right now. Yeah, but I really like what I have. Well, I think that, like, can we get you on the phone? You're not going to be that person. You're providing them with something, some information. One, who you are, right? Two, the real estate market's crazy. There's some good prices out there. Do you need help? You're just providing your service. And again, it's just going to be yes or no. And if they're like, not right now, okay, not a problem. I'll give you a call in a couple months and see if anything's changed. You know, it was really nice chatting with you. And then you like text them like 5 minutes later. Thank you so much for your time. It was really nice speaking to you. I'll talk to you some other time. And then they go, oh, the first call is always the hardest, right? Because then the second time, you know, they get off that phone and they go, oh, she didn't want anything from me. That's cool, right? Because if you weren't pushy and they told you no, and you're like, okay, cool, then you're now building a relationship with them. And that's the goal. I always teach my team members that every single person that you talk to or you shake their hand, I know we don't do a whole lot of handshaking nowadays, do not look at that person like your meal ticket. Do not do it. They'll smell it right off you. Smell it right off you. Oh, they want me to sell my house. No.
It has to be intentional and genuine, you know, and I think all of this, you know, this prospecting and not being a secret agent. And what we have to remind ourselves is that you hear it a lot, even in Bold last October, they talked about committing yourself to mastery. Committing yourself to mastery doesn't just, you know, belong just right on scripts. It's a part of that too. But putting yourself and injecting yourself into conversations and always talking about what we do and what we can provide and what services and how we can help, that's just honing our craft. It's putting us in a better situation for the next conversation, right?
Absolutely. And you know what, we'll feel this sometimes with even our own friends, you know, like if you're sitting around and you're like eating hot dogs or whatever at a barbecue or, you know, game night or whatever, your friends can feel if you're like, need a deal. Like they feel it, right? So you really got to come at this that you are literally building relationships with people. And so I tell my team, do not look at every person you meet as a meal ticket. We actually, I mean, it'd be nice if they needed to buy or sell right now. It'd be nice, but that's not what we're looking for. What you're looking for and the entire purpose of your business is to build a relationship with that person so that they can give you referrals. Because I don't know about you, a person like, I think it's on average like 4 to 8 years moves. Some people a little more, some people are lifers that never move. But I don't want to have a whole book of business that only moves every 4 to 8 years. I'm going to be starving, right? You need to get referrals from those people. And how do you do that? You build a relationship with them, right? So I put the next screen up. The 4 C's of prospecting: capture, connect. You can either close them or you can cultivate them and close them. So again, making that call, and you're going to capture that information. Who is it that you're going to speak to? And then you're going to connect with them, right? Whether it's that phone call or, you know, the text message, whatever it is, you're going to connect with them. So you're going to make that call, and you're, again, either going to ask for the business, ask for a referral. And if that doesn't happen, it goes to cultivation. Build a relationship, right? And then eventually you close deals. That's the 4 C's of prospecting. And if you are not capturing information, if you're not making your plan, who is it I'm going to call? And you are then not connecting with them, there is absolutely no way to ever cultivate or close. All right. And I wish that I could give you guys an easy button and say there's some magic potion. There is not. You have to talk to people. And for some people, that's really scary, right? It's really scary. The big thing is, I think, to remember, guys, is through all of this, even when we ask, are they thinking of buying and selling? Even if we ask, you know, if you hear of anyone who's thinking of buying and selling, you know, I'd love for you to support me and throw my name out there, or give me a call, whichever one you're comfortable with. we always prefer they give us a call and give the information because then it's like more guaranteed, but throwing our name out there is still great. Tagging us on Facebook, like that's my life. Every day I literally every day go on and I'm like, I look through and see who's tagged me on like one of those Ask Nova Scotias, right? And tagged all my team members, because then I do shout outs. Oh my God, yeah, my team member's so great. You should really call them. I find that always works. You know, and so having them tag us, even if they're not providing us information, that's what you want, right? But you have to contact them and you have to get out of the mindset that you're going to bother them. You're not, you are strengthening relationships with people, and people know, okay? And if someone really says, ooh, I don't really want you to call me anymore, well, then don't. And if someone doesn't answer their phone, cool. That's fine too. But as long as you're coming from contribution and as long as you're making those, strengthening those relationships. And I think that's where, when you guys originally started talking, you say, well, I really can't just jump into these scripts because I need to have a conversation with these people first. That's okay. You know, and that's why sometimes starting with the whole, I'm just letting the world know that, you know, to the people who support me the best. And I know would put my name out there, that I'm in real estate. You already know. And I mean, if you really want to blame it on the course, I'm in a training right now and I have to do this. And that's always a really good one, because then people are like, oh, okay, go ahead. Right? So you're like, so remember, I'm in real estate and I'm kind of in this training and we have to contact 10 people. So I'm kind of going to use you because I know like you're one of my people and you're a good sphere of influence. So like, do you mind if I go, oh yeah, go ahead. Right? They believe that they're doing you a favor now. Oh, I'm helping her out. She's in a course. She has to make calls. But all you're really doing is strengthening your relationship with that person. You're connecting with them, and probably on a more intimate level, because then they're like, oh, she's so cute. She has to do a little thing with her team. And but you've just reminded them, so I'm in real estate and I'm just asking, are you looking to buy and sell? And they're like, no, I'm not. And you're like, okay, well, you know, I think it'd be really great. Do you have any referrals, like anyone you know that may be buying and selling? And they'll be like, no, I don't right now, but you know, I'll pass your name along. Awesome. I really appreciate it. And thanks so much for being there for me today during this little exercise. And I'll talk to you in a little bit. Okay. And they're like, yeah, no problem, because they're your closest people to you. And so what you believe, they think that you're just like, oh, well, she just needed 10 people. But what you did is you reminded them yet again, you're in real estate. And if they know anyone, because that's the whole point. That's the point of meeting your VIP people for coffee every 12 weeks. You know, you're not going to go and sit down and go, okay, so who do you have as referrals? No, you're going to, shoot the shit. You're going to ask them about themselves. How's work? Because what's going to happen is they're going to talk about work and they're going to be like, oh yeah, you're in real estate, aren't you? I'm like, yep. How's that going? Really good. I'm super loving it. Just working really hard, trying to find, people who are looking to buy and sell and whatever. And I know you people, I know you'll throw my name out there. So, I just really excited about it. And they're like, yeah, no, I will for sure. Right. Like, so it comes up in conversation. You don't actually have to, when you're doing that VIP call, you don't actually have to ask for the business. You're going to ask about them. It will revert back to you. And if you do it every 12 weeks, the difference is we believe these people know us. They know us, but they believe that they're going to remember us. So let's take that we didn't have that VIP call or VIP coffee every 12 weeks with this person. And they're just going through their life and life's busy. And their buddy at work's like, yeah, I'm looking to buy a house. And they're like, oh, that's cool. Where are you looking to buy? And they're like, yeah, I'm looking in the Sackville area. Right on. I know some people from there. Cool. And then let's backtrack it. And let's say they've been having coffee with you for 12 weeks or like once every 12 weeks for like the last year. And buddy goes, yeah, I'm looking to buy a house. You're like, man, I have coffee with this guy every like couple months. He is amazing. You should call him. Because it's not that the person didn't remember you. It's that their life was busy. So do we understand why we need to cultivate relationships? Right? Okay. So connecting questions. you need to ask questions that are going to allow you to connect with people. So, it's like, if you do have a conversation and someone's like, yeah, I'm thinking of buying, you want to know about them. You want to know a little bit about their family, their job, their life, right? That's your who. You want to know what are they looking for? All right. What do they want to do? What is their goal? And you're going to want to do this in, you're not just going to be like, okay, so now what are you looking for? It's going to come up in conversation, right? Like you're going to make it your own. So you want to know the what are they doing? What do they want? Where? So where do they want to buy? Where is their home located? Like, where are they now? And sometimes they rent, sometimes they own it, but you want to know what their situation is. Where are they? You want to know their why. Why are they moving? So a lot of the times when people start in real estate, their conversation is, and it's because, you're frazzled and you're like, oh God, I don't know what to say on this call. But it's like, do you want to buy and sell? And they're like, yeah, I was thinking about buying. Oh, okay. Did you want to meet? Like you went right for the panties. Like you did it. You can't do that. I mean, there are some people that go right for it, but you should probably find out a little bit about a person. Right? Oh, this is on YouTube. That's bad. Again, I'm sorry, I'm a little unorthodox, but
you make it rememberable. We're going to remember these things is all. It's good. It's real.
Our people. And it really and I'm a little bit more graphic when I teach my team. So this is the G-rated. I do apologize. But it's like,
Are you apologizing for it being G-rated instead of being X-rated?
No, I apologize.
Come on, go X-rated. We're ready.
Oh, I'm on YouTube. Why are you moving? You need to know their why, right? If you want to understand someone and you want to connect with them, you need to know their why. And some people are going to open up more than others. But I think if you're more genuine with your conversations, you will get more out of people, okay? The next one is when. When do they want to do it? And if they want to do it in like 6 months, I will give everyone a tip. They're like, oh, so I'm thinking like 6 months. Okay. If someone tells you they want to buy in 6 months, they do not. I've learned from experience. If they say 6 months, they want to be moved in 6 months. If they say, oh yeah, I want to buy in about 3 months. No, they want to move in 3 months. Right? Because this is what happens. They say, I don't want to buy for 6 months. And then you're like, oh, long-term lead. I'll check in with them in 3 months. Guess what? You check in. Oh yeah, I just bought a house. I'm moving in 3 months. And you're like, that sucked. Right? Because they were ripe. So, people who are like, oh, a year. No, they want to be moved in a year. But chances are, here's the other key to it. They just got to find something they like because it's already in their head that they want to move. They just, out of fear, think it's a year. Or maybe they don't want to tell you because they're like, oh, I don't want to be sold, right? So people are afraid of change. So they're always going to pick a longer date than they're going to tell you. And whether they believe it or not, they're wrong. They're wrong. And they don't even know they're wrong. Okay, so someone tells you 3 months, they want to start looking. They really want to be in the house in 3 months, unless they give you an actual scenario. I'm moving from Ontario on this date. I need to move into the house on this date. Well, they're not lying. They actually need to move from Ontario on that date, right? But the common person tells you 6 months. They're really starting to look now. Throw them on a portal. Let that portal nurture them. Check in with them every once in a while. They'll be one of your 10 calls a day at some point. And then the last one, how do they plan to do it? Do they currently rent? So they've already probably told you they currently rent. How do they want to do it? So they're going to give you a little bit about what's happening. Maybe they own a house, but they don't, one of the questions, okay, well, are you planning on selling or are you going to rent that out? Right? Because that's an option. And a lot of people are like, oh, Well, yeah, no, I'm gonna sell it. All right. So you need to connect with people. You need to understand their situations. And of course, this is, this isn't, oh, someone said, no, not really right now. I mean, you can keep trying to ask them questions. They may stop you. So this isn't really your sphere of influence. This is people that you're actually, you've started to talk to and they actually want to buy or sell, right? So you're going to capture your people. You're going to connect with them. They're either going to say, yes, I'm thinking of buying and selling. Okay, well, or no, I'm not. You're going to say, do you know someone that I could help? They're going to say yes or no. And otherwise it moves into the category of, cultivate. Okay. So the close, the close is asking for that appointment. See, this doesn't go the same way as all my documents go. So I'm just going to keep talking. The close, there's going to be lots of different ways that you guys close someone. And everyone's different. And there's not, like on this sheet, there's 10 different kinds. Do you guys have page 19? Yep, you guys got it. Okay, page 19 is where I'm at. There's the hard close. You're going to find that in the D personalities. When someone's like, yeah, so your goal for your call, obviously, try to get an appointment. Well, you're only going to do that if they actually are thinking of buying or selling, right? You're not going to get an appointment if they said, no, I'm not. Okay, well, can I have an appointment? Why? Right? So again, there's going to be some situations where these do not apply. You're going to ask for a referral from them. And, you're going to build that connection with them. And whether that connection, maybe they are kind of part of your sphere of influence and they're not looking to buy and sell. They don't have a referral from you. How would you build that connection? I typically, if it's my sphere of influence, I always am like, we should get together for coffee. I haven't seen you in forever, and really be genuine, right? Like, because you shouldn't be meeting with people you don't like. I mean, like if they're in your sphere of influence, because they're probably not going to give you referrals anyways, unless you want to be really fake and just do it just because, but I mean, that's your choice. So here are the different closes, and you're really going to have to do it the way that you do it. You are yourself, and you're not going to be able to really, I believe you cannot force yourself to be someone different. I think it comes out very, you can train yourself to do something you don't like, but you can't choose, you can't make yourself be someone different. So there are 10 closes on this page. I'd like someone to pick who wants to do the hard close. You're on the phone. Are you thinking of buying and selling? Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Who wants to read the hard close?
Let's meet. Perfect. Let's meet.
Let's meet. All right, we got this. You want to let's have that conversation. I was just going to have a whole conversation on the phone, but you know what? Let's meet. You want coffee? You want to chat about it? Right? And the person, I mean, and I will say you need to know your people, because you may, if you get another D on the end, they'd be like, yeah, sure. Because they really don't have time for this conversation right now anyways. Right? So you do need to know your people, but you do need to know yourself as well. So that's the hard close. Let's meet. If you got a D on the phone and he's like, yeah, I was thinking about it. Okay, let's meet. We're done. Let's have this conversation. Right on. Tuesday or Thursday. Oh, Tuesday's better. Sweet. Like lunchtime or prior to lunch? Lunchtime's good. Let's do it on my lunch. Okay, cool. This place? You good with that? Yeah, I'm good with that. And we're done. Put it in your calendar. That's a D. They don't even, done. Some of them be like, yeah, check my receptionist, she'll put you in. Right? My assistant does my schedule. So you're going to have some of those people. So who wants to do number 2, the soft close?
I'll do it.
Go ahead.
I really enjoyed visiting with you. Would you like to get together and discuss this further?
So again, this is if you were actually visiting. So maybe switch it up and be like, oh, I really enjoyed talking to you. Maybe it's like the little old lady, right? You get those and they want to talk for like an hour on the phone. And you're like, you know what? I have a couple more calls to make, but I really like talking to you. did you want to get together and talk about this a little bit more? Yeah, definitely. Right? That's your soft. And I do find it is more so with the elderly. You will like, because if you like, let's meet, oh dear, right? And then, no, I don't think so. So you do have to, and that's real. Like I got 2 clients right now, that's them. You know, so the soft close. So then we have a very direct close. Who would like to read the direct close? Anybody? Okay, I'll do
Sure,
it.
I'll do the direct close.
All right, do the direct
Yeah.
close.
So would you like to meet tomorrow at 2 o'clock or today at 4?
Yeah, you absolutely got it correct. You need to give people very direct choices. All right, because if you are direct with them in your times and your days, you will have better success at an appointment. If you're like, oh, so, you know, like, are you available tonight? Tonight's not great. Okay, well, you know, like, what's good for you? I'm gonna have to get back to you, right? Like, that's what you're gonna get. Except if you're like, okay, so I have space tomorrow or on Wednesday. What's better for you, right? Tomorrow at 2 or Wednesday at 2. And people are like, ooh, 2 o'clock's not great at all, actually. Cool. So like tomorrow at 6 or Wednesday at 6. You must be a night person. Yeah, okay. Yeah, tomorrow at 6, right? And it's not that people don't want, just people have such a fear of being sold. So you got to be direct with them. Okay, 4, the indirect close. Anybody want to read that one? No? Come on, participate with me.
Would it be okay if I
Yep.
got you some information to look over and then we can meet to discuss?
Yeah, so that's indirect. You know, you're not saying, are we meeting at 2? Like, is it happening? You're just saying, would you mind? And what you're learning from this, guys, is that, you know, it's got to make you feel comfortable, but then you also have to gauge the other person, right? Because, and you're going to hear that a little bit from the conversation, and you may not know at first. This may be a very big learning experience, and you may be looking at this page going, I don't got a clue how to talk to people. I don't know which ones these people want. Start out with what makes you happy, right? And then it'll eventually come to you. But just
Angela,
saying,
go around the room and make somebody do one instead of it just being Sherry and me and Shina.
okay, good enough. What are we at next? Blah, blah, blah. The trial close.
The trial.
We've got trial close right there. I still can't see names. I don't know why.
Oh, I can do it. The trial close.
Yeah,
I think I'd agree that we've gone over enough today. That meeting would obviously be our next step.
Yeah, that's a really good one. That's wonderful, one I'm comfortable with, right? Like, okay, that's awesome. Like, I've asked like my questions, my who, what, when, why, you know, how, and whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, we've had like a lot of, like, we've gone over a lot. You know, I think that the next step is meeting. Like, wouldn't you agree? And most people are like, well, yeah, I think so, right? That's one that makes me definitely comfortable. Let's do the next one. The assumptive close. Who haven't we got yet? Anybody? Does that sound like anyone?
Dennis.
No, that
Dennis.
doesn't sound like you. Chelsea, sound like you? Anybody on?
I'll do it. It sounds like we should meet. I'm available most times this week. So what works best for you?
Yep. So basically you're saying, we've had a good conversation. I think we should meet. Right. And you're going to get a feel for that. And, you know, it's, if you continue to read these, you may get on a call and you may feel it. It's going to flow out of you. And you're like, you know what? This has been a great call. We need to meet. And you're going to hear it come out of your mouth and you're going to go, there it is. Right. And because we're going over these, a word's going to come out of your mouth, a way of, you know, closing them is going to come out of your mouth and you're going to feel it. You're like, oh, that's number 8. right? Like I remember that one. What do we got? The negative positive close. Ooh, I'm like I love negatives. I'm all about negative questioning, and I'll talk to you guys that in a minute. But who wants to read the negative positive close?
I can read it. It's not really my style, but I want to know why that you were really into the negatives.
So you can read it for us if nobody else, not them, and that's okay. Continue.
Would you be offended if I asked if we could meet to go over this?
Okay, so I don't use the offended close. Okay, again, I'm more of a, I think we've gone over everything. The next step, I believe, is meeting. So that's more of my style. But what I mean by I love negative questioning. Okay, so you're asking people, especially cold calls or warm calls, someone's entered a lead and they've given you their information and you kind of know a little bit about what they want, but you're making that first call. A lot of times, if you're like, okay, so, how long until you move? A lot of people are like, they don't want to be sold. All right. People, even if they actually want to sell or buy, people are very standoffish because they're so used to the whole world of sales and telemarketing. So they're like, well, like you're going to hear this one a lot. I'm not really in a rush, right? Like it's not, just whatever feels right. Or, I'm just browsing because I'm not in a rush. So how I negatively ask questions is I'll say, okay, so I see here that you're looking for mini homes in like the Sackville area, because that's what came in. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so like, you're not looking to buy for like a year, right? People will need to correct you. It's like an amazing phenomenon. They'll be like, well, no, not like a year. Like probably 6 months. Well, like probably like closer to 3 months, but maybe 6 months. So if you said, so when you're looking to move, not in a rush. Yeah, don't really know. I'm just browsing. But if you're like, yeah, so, I'm thinking like it's, you're not looking for a year. Whoa. It's before a year. Like they'll just give you all the information. And you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, but I'll put 6 months down. And then it's like, are you pre-approved? Well, like I'm not really in a rush. So, so if you're like, oh, well, you probably haven't spoken to a lender yet. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I already went to the bank. Oh, did you?
So the negative questioning is
like,
where they have to correct you and say, no, I'm in a positive situation. I'm a serious buyer.
Absolutely. Because people have an instinct. They just can't help it. They need to correct it. You're wrong, right? So it goes from trying to pry information out of someone to the fact that now people you're wrong. Like you're wrong right now, and I have to correct you. Another one, price. So, what price range are you looking at? Oh, I don't really know. Like it's, I'm not in a rush, so just about anything. I'll go, yes, so you're probably only looking at like 150. Oh no, we can buy up to 300. Oh. So that's
I love that. I love that conversation because that's things could be a game changer and that we don't know, right? So every industry has their potential objections. The people that try to go, okay, no, sorry, I'm good. And you lose them unless you know those things to say. Right. So thank you. Right. Thank you.
That's
How
like
much
one
fun
of
do you
my
have?
big
Just
things
kidding.
is
That's
I'll
amazing.
say like, and I'm like outrageous, right? So I'm talking to someone and I do this because I don't want them to feel like I'm trying to buy them. I'm like, oh, you probably aren't even looking to buy yet, right? Like just browsing. Like I'm going to say it for them. Oh, you're probably just browsing. You're not even looking to buy yet. You're probably a year out. You probably only can get like 150,000. You probably haven't been to a lender. And the people are like, no, you're completely wrong. I'm actually ready now. And I'm buying 500. Put my portal on. No, I don't think you're ready. I'm ready. And you're like, okay, you're ready. Here we go. So it's a little bit of reverse psychology. And it's just, it's because, I'm going to be really honest with you. I could care less if someone at this point in my life, and I think that's kind of what happens. At this point of my life, I really could care less if someone calls me because I know I get calls, right? So when you take that whole fear of that person's the next meal ticket, then it becomes less important. And I'm not saying don't make your calls, and I'm not saying don't get your business, but I'm saying you need to communicate with people as if real estate isn't your business, but it really is. You're a person. You need to talk to everybody like you're a human being. And you want to connect with all these people. And you think, what can I come out with, contribution? I don't want to think I just need all of you to buy a house. I'm going to say, I need all of you to understand the market. This neighborhood is selling 200 over asking time after time. I don't need you to buy, but I'm sure as hell going to be here when you're ready. And the big thing is that don't think you're bothering people, because people are busy and you may contact them once a month for 9 months and they may never answer the phone or may never respond to your email. But I bet you on that 10th month, when they are then ready, who has continued to be in contact with them for the last 10 months? Right? Because most real estate agents make the first call. Some make the second call. Every once in a while, some will make the third call. And then they stop because they're like, I didn't get any instant gratification. And that's what like 99% of real estate agents or anyone in sales wants. They want instant gratification. They want the sale. Oh, they didn't answer the phone twice. They're not interested. Next. Well, no, it's the agent that keeps going. And on the 10th call, the 10th interaction, they get the sale because they realized that the interaction with the human being is more important than the yes or the no that they received. That fills your funnel. Every single day, reaching out and having conversations with human beings. Reaching out to business owners. How can you help? How can you support? How can you share their stuff on Facebook? Shooting the shit, having a coffee. That's how you get business, right? So I'm going to throw the last couple in just because I'm so sorry, I'm a chatter. The take back close. I've really enjoyed visiting with you. To be honest, I'm not sure if I can help or not, but I'd be honored if we meet and I can find out. And that's sometimes going to happen if they got bad credit. You talk to them a little bit. They're not sure if their credit's great or they don't have a whole lot of down payment. Maybe they just don't understand how this works yet. And it's just like, I don't know if I can help you, but I'm willing to try. I'm just that nice, right? Like, so, and then the tie down close, wouldn't it make sense for us to meet the next day or so? And then they'll tell you, no, it doesn't make sense. All right. That's cool. I'll call you in 3 months, see if anything changed, right? Because then your head, that's what you got to think of. If they're not ready right now, that's cool. I'm going to check to see if anything's changed in a couple months, right? And really by a couple months, you're going to it depends on the person. If they say 6 months, you're calling in 2 or 3, or maybe next month, or maybe try to get a portal up, right? And the last one, the alternative close. What works better for you? Meeting today, sometime this afternoon, or tomorrow morning, right? So it's really just going to have to feel it out. And you may try this a couple times and think, oh, it didn't work. Well, maybe it didn't, or maybe it didn't work on the right people, right? So then you're going to review this and go, okay, what else makes me feel okay? Again, forcing yourself to do something is a lot harder than working with what you know, but as long as you're making the calls. All right. I'm going to get into, because what time is it? Yeah, see, I hope they don't cut me off. I'm going to get into where do we find business? And I told you I talked this whole time and we should have had 3 hours, but it is what it is. Okay, business. We've all talked about sphere of influence, right? What is your sphere of influence? I want to hear from you guys. Do you actually know?
Well, there's the obvious ones, friends, family, previous business partnerships, neighbors, like people who you're comfortable engaging with.
Yep. Yep. Who
That's-
else?
That's the
For
low.
me, it's your hobbies and stuff like that. So
Yes.
like for me, dog, I'm in the dog world in a big way, right? So all my contacts with the dog world, my BNI world, so and all my people in those worlds.
Absolutely.
My previous clients from my other jobs that other career that I had, they would
Yeah.
I'm really excited about reaching out to them.
Absolutely. And you know what? The best part of it is these people already trust you.
They do. And they said, when and if you sell anything else, please call me, so hello, here I am, remember?
Here I am, knock, knock.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just sit. I printed off a couple of my own sheets. Because I'm like that. You guys keep talking. Tell me some more sphere of influence. Very specific. So while we're doing this, I'd like you guys to start writing this down. I want you to think what resonates with me. Does that make sense? So we're going to start. So someone had a dog business, right? And this is what I mean by let's do this in class. What do you do in your life? Think about it. Not who, what. Don't think about the who is the sphere of influence. We're not going to start there. What do you do in your life? So we have dog business. That's what. What else?
I do hair.
You do hair? Sam?
So my hair business. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's your what. You write down my hair business. What else?
Sports. My girls are in sports 7 days a week.
Absolutely. Yep. So you're going to write down the sports clubs. If it's just one, that's fine. If it's two of them, write them both down.
Okay.
What else do we got?
For me, it's hospital and daycares.
Daycare. Absolutely. Yep. And hospital, you mean
That's where I work.
Oh, okay. So then your
as well.
workplace. Yep. So if you have a secondary workplace, absolutely. Absolutely. What other examples do we got? I'm jumping on my email because I didn't print it off.
Maybe what your spouse or partner does.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
He's out there every day, so get him going.
Yeah. And
Right?
and I'm sorry, but should he not be on your VIP list?
He better be.
You better be. But having that conversation with your spouse is extremely important because your spouse may be very busy, right? And what does it all come down to? People are busy. People are very busy. Okay, what else? What else do we got? What else do you do in your normal daily lives? So we know we got some girls in sports. What else?
I actually run into a fair amount of people when I go for my daily walk.
Yep, absolutely. Your daily walk. Write that down. What about, does everyone go grocery shopping?
Yep.
Yep. Write it down. You get your hair done? Do you get your nails done? Do you get your car fixed? Do you go to the dentist? Do you take your kids to the dentist? Do you go to the doctors?
I was going to say, I just told my doctor this morning.
And you know what? All these places have administrators, receptionists.
And I told her.
Exactly. So you want to add those people. So what you're doing right now is you're making a list of what happens in your life, because a lot of people look at me and they go, I don't have anybody. I'm like, that is impossible. Unless you sit in your house and you do nothing at all. The problem is that we just kind of go through our life and we do not connect the dots that who we are in our life, and every single thing we do is actually prospecting. We don't connect those two. When we think of leads, we think of, the closest people to us on Facebook, We think of, how can I spend money to pull leads in, the people who are actually looking? And again, you got to stop doing that. You got to think of everyone in your life, because it is easier to get 5 referrals a month or a year from the people around you, all these different people that know and you nurture and end up loving you, than trying to find that one person that wants to sell a house. Right? My business is now, I'd say 80% sphere of influence. Sphere of influence, repeat clients, referral based. It's like 80%. And they're coming to us like nobody's business right now. And I'm like, whew, that's really great. It did not start that way, and it will take time, but this is what you're building. So what else? Do you go to a restaurant often? There might be a couple you go to. You need to start paying attention to the girl who let you in, who seats you. Maybe thank the chef if it's a very nice restaurant. I'd love to meet the chef. I know.
What about your kids? Explaining to your kid, like my kids are now, I mean, she's 15 at the third. They all know what I do. So they have parents, they have other friends that have parents that I may not reach out to, or.
So there you go.
That's another one.
Your kids, the kids' friends' parents.
Right. Yes.
Right. You know them on, I mean, I know a lot of people, you look at them on Facebook, you know them, you talk to them, like people who have hockey people are like tight. You need to start, they need to go in your database. And if you ever say to yourself, I don't know if they need to go in my they need to go in your database. And even if it's only ever to make a connection with them, they need to be in your database. Even if it's only to, okay, so I'm going to give you guys a little story. I got 5 siblings. There's a lot of them. And I got a huge family. We're like Roman Catholic Newfoundlanders. So they like breed like bunnies. I got a huge family. Like we're talking about like 40 first cousins type of stuff. And this is just on my dad's side. I put my siblings and my cousins in the database so that I remember what the birthdays are. And I remember to reach out every once in a while. Like I got like 13 or 14 nieces and nephews just on my side. If you believe they shouldn't be in your database, they shouldn't be there for only one reason. They told you they don't want to be. That's it. Because you in your head are thinking, ooh, I don't want to keep asking them for business. Why? They're your sphere of influence. They're the people you see every day. Don't come off as like a weirdo, but it's going to come up. And the best way for it to come up is ask them about their job. How's things going with you in life? How's your job going? And I mean, they may not continue a conversation. Oh, we're good. We're doing really well. And they may stop and, well, that sucks. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to keep going. It's going to go back and forth a little bit, right? Oh, that's really good. Yeah, I mean, you can, if you're bold, you can insert. That's really great. I'm super glad for you guys. Yeah, the kids are doing really good there on the ice. Yeah. I'm in real estate. The market's been crazy. But most people that remember you're in real estate, or they'll say, oh, what do you do again? Oh, I'm in real estate. Oh, that market right now, right? So it's, you have to just be a person and just talk to these people like people. And then once you get past that first initial, it will become more natural to you when you're making those calls. Like it's going to, at first it's going to feel really like, ooh, but you really have to decide, who is it that I'm making calls to, or who is it that I'm going to see on the ice next week, right? And that comes into preparing. Because if you're like, I know I'm going to be to the dentist on this day, my Wednesday list, that person and that person and this person at the dental office that I always see, they're going to be on my list for Wednesday. Whereas you wouldn't cold call your dentist. Does that make sense? So what else do we got? Did I get kicked off? No, I didn't. Okay, everyone's really quiet. I'm like, oh, I got kicked off again. I'm reading from a sheet. So, okay, so we got coffee shops. Coffee shops are wicked, right? Because you always usually have like the same people who serve you coffee and whatever. So, country clubs. If you have a membership of any kind, and again, I want you guys putting this down as I'm talking, write down the things that are being associated, because then what you're going to do is you're now going to look through all those what do you do in life, and you're going to insert people, and maybe you don't have their name yet, and maybe it's like, oh, the receptionist with the brown hair, but I guarantee you the next time you go into that place with the receptionist with the brown hair, you're going to watch for her name, you're going to look it up. When you go to an office of some sort, you're going to start taking business cards, right? Because you want to know the people, and you take those business cards home, and you're going to sit down and put them in your database, right? Because now they're going to be a connection, and they're going to come up, and you're going to look at who haven't I talked to in a while, and you're going to go this person, this person, this person, and you're either, if you can either try to make that call, or you can put that email out, hey, I'm a client at your business. I'm in real estate, and see you, Joanne. I'm in real estate, and yeah, I just want you to know who I was. I appreciate your business. I really, and tell them why. Like, I really, I think you guys are really great. And, within your business, this is how I see the great things that you do. I love your customer service. I think your girls out front are amazing. And I just wanted to introduce myself to you, because I too am the type of individual that not only loves to see when a business cares about their clients, but I too care about my clients. So, you're kind of saying what you are and what you do, but really you're complimenting them. You're saying, I think you're amazing. And I understand that, because that's what kind of person I am in my business. Right. And I just want to let you know that I'm going to refer you. And I want to let you know that, like, whenever I see it on Facebook, I'm putting you out there, and that person comes back and you haven't asked them for anything. Right. That person comes back and they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like we really try, because they're human beings too. Right. Because if someone referred you, someone emailed you and said, I love what you're doing with your business. Like, it is so friendly. You are amazing. Your social media presence is awesome. You'd be like, thank you. I tried really hard. Right. Like we care. That person's going to feel that way too. I mean, unless they're just, I know my place is great, but 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have that person cares about their business just as much as you care about yours, right? So, and that's how you're going to reach out to those business owners. The girls at the front desk, it's as simple as a compliment. You were really sweet today. The person who serves your coffee, I just, and this is how you slip it in. You had such great customer service today. Like you were one of the best customer service people. Like, and you just insert the words you need to, right? You're the best coffee server I have ever had. I just want to know, I come in here every day and you just brighten my life. And they're like, oh my God. And then you slip your card. I'm in real estate. And if you ever need me, like, I would just love to help you out. Right. And then they're not thinking, oh, they just pitched me. They're going, oh, she thinks I'm wonderful. I'm the best. Right. But you're remembered. So just remember, come from contribution, and not every single conversation you're going to have is a line, right? If you really thought someone had great customer service, or that someone's business is fantastic, tell them and tell them it's because you believe that's what business should be, right? Who else do we got? Allied resources, the bankers, lenders, lawyers, insurance companies. They should, like, your main people should be on your VIP list. You should be meeting with them every 12 weeks for a coffee, but you should be reaching out to them, And so if you're reaching out to some new people in the industry, I'm new. I just wanted to connect with you. I don't know who you're referring your business to right now, but I wanted you to know me. Did you want to have grab a coffee? Because they probably all have connections, right? You have to think to yourself, don't get into the negative headspace. Oh, There's 1,000 real estate agents in our area. They already got people. Means nothing. Means absolutely nothing. You need to position yourself in a spot where if one of those people are not doing it for them, maybe they don't reach out anymore. Maybe they take their relationship for granted. And if you believe that doesn't happen, it absolutely happens. 100%. Do not take for granted the people in your life that refer you business.
Or don't assume that they will.
Or don't assume that they will.
Because not every client is a guarantee, right?
Right. Don't assume that because they've given you 5 referrals and that you guys have been tight for like 2 years, that you can just stop interacting with them because they got you on lockdown. I have professionals right now that we have used since the beginning. And I know 2 of them that they know they got our business. And to be honest, they don't give us the time of day anymore. And I hate to break it to you. When some new people want to meet me, I go and I meet them. We have lots of coffees with people. Now we are trying to find the people that are going to do well for our business. But just because someone's had my business for a decade doesn't mean that someone else can't get it. So you need to have those conversations with people. You need to meet as many people as possible. And we had so many people say, I can't find anyone. Does anyone have the internet? Because I'm pretty sure you could do a Google search and people got their phone numbers and emails and what they do. And, there's a million people out there and their information's everywhere. So to say that you can't find people's information and you can't meet people is insane, right? We got appraisers, we got lawyers, banks, builders, car detailers, chartered accountants, financial advisors, handyman. We got the inspectors, the landscapers, the mortgage companies, the moving companies. These are all allied resources. We have builders out there. We have relocation companies. We have moving companies. There are veterinarians and there's wedding people. There's a million businesses. We got the Tupperware people. We got the Modere people. You got, Jesus Christ, what are the rest of, there's so many businesses out there that once you've exhausted your sphere of influence, just open up Google. You got clubs that you go to. Maybe you golf, maybe you swim, maybe you canoe, maybe you curl, maybe you go to the gym, maybe you go to church, maybe you go to there's it used to be POF. What's it called now? I'm old. I'm sorry. What? I don't know what they're
Plenty
called.
of fish.
Are you talking about
Are you
talking about Tinder? There's still plenty of fish.
Is there still plenty of fish?
Yeah.
It's probably good that you're not aware, given you're married and all.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. But listen, plenty of fish. That was my first husband. All right, next. They have meetup.com, but I don't know if that's a thing here. But I do know that and I guess I didn't really mean go on Tinder, find some people to buy houses. What I meant was that you can go on, event. There's a lot of information up here right now. Events, the events thing, right? And you hook in and you can go and
Eventbrite.
Eventbrite. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So if anybody's going on Tinder to look for clients, then they should make an appointment with Colin.
What I meant was Eventbrite. So
I'm just kidding. I know.
You can go on Eventbrite and there's a whole bunch of networking things that you can do. And one of the event things are actually a dating one, right? So you can do dating and you can do, I'm just saying that if you are in the market for actually dating and that's something you go to, then don't look at that as a negative. Every person that you meet might want to buy a house. Talk. Ooh, you're not really for me, but have you been thinking about buying or selling? I'm just saying, there's every possibility out there, right?
You're laughing, but it does work sometimes.
It does work, I know. So we got a lot of organizations that you never think of, your PTAs in your schools. Like if you drop your kids off, there's a million parents there. You have psychologists and psychiatrists, and we all have children that have issues, and there's a million receptionists there. If you visit the IWK a lot, there's a lot of people there. If you go to marriage counseling, you hit your marriage counselor up, right? A lot of people there. There's a lot of charities. There's the chambers of commerce. You have business networking groups. You have alumni. Where did you go to school? Are you a Dal alumni? There's a million people there. Where did you go to school for high school? Because I'm pretty sure like those people remember you. A huge bulk of my business is from my old friends from high school, right? What else? So those are like the what in your life. All right. And as you can tell, there's a million of them. I'm 9 minutes over, but I don't have that much more to go through. And we didn't do any in-class stuff, but I'm going to say, I really, really, really want you guys, because your next bold class, or your next Ignite class is not until Monday. And if you want to be successful in this, you need to be putting people in your database. You need to think about who goes under all these categories that we've talked about today. And then make your initial calls, right? So you can save some for Monday's class, whoever you're talking to. I don't know what Monday's class is, but, or you can make those calls because your teacher may want you to do something. So this is kind of like me helping you out. So I'm going to talk a little bit about, now that we've talked about all the different things in your life, let's talk about some actual prospecting ideas, right? Because that's all what in your life, where do I find people? Prospecting ideas. So you could go door to door, you could do door knocking. It's fantastic. A lot of people don't like to do it. My recommendation is door knocking is great when you have a listing in the area that's just been listed or just sold, right? Because you can like print off a little sheet and you can do 25 or 50 homes around the home that you just listed or sold. And you're going to be like, yeah, I just listed this house, or hey, I just sold this house. You have a reason. And in your head, that makes it easier, right? But if you really want to get good, you need to do a demographic farming or a farm area. And so there's a geographic farm area is a little bit different than demographic farming. Demographic farming is you're farming a certain type of people. If you know that a huge section of people are rentals in a neighborhood, then you may want to, go in there, first time home buyers. That's demographic. Geographic is you're actually going to pick a farming area in like maybe where you live or something that has a good connection to you, or maybe you're just picking it because it has really high price and you're like, I want high prices, and that's okay too. You will get, I believe you will get a better, it will go better if you pick something, covering what you know. So geographic farm area, my advice to you is come from contribution. You're just telling your community what's happening. And you're letting them know that you're there, you're ready to help them when they're ready, and that you'll be back next month. Right? And you don't want a long conversation at the door. You pass them whatever you printed out, or you don't even have to print anything. But you essentially knock, 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 move on. Knock, 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 move on. Knock, knock, knock. Hey, how's it going? Here's some information. The market in this area is really crazy. I just want to let you know that I'm from this area, and I'm a real estate agent. And for anyone that is thinking of having their home evaluated, that's my information, and let me know, is that something you're interested in? And it's like, no, I'm not looking to sell. Okay, not a problem whatsoever. I'm going to check back with the neighborhood every month. So, maybe I'll see you next month, and move on.
So Angela, would I take that opportunity if they are speaking to me and ask them for their contact information so I can upload them to my system and not hound them, but at least be able to, do you take that opportunity to get their contact if it feels okay?
If it feels okay. if they stop, and the big things is that you don't want to have too much of a conversation there, because
Right.
there's some people that are like, oh yeah, the market's crazy. Tell me a little bit about it. Talk. You need to say, listen, like I got about an hour and I gotta knock on everyone's door. Why don't I grab your phone number and we'll have a call? Or, did you want me to drop over tomorrow at 2, or is 3 better? And I'll sit down, we'll have a coffee. Right. And that's always good. That not, I'll come in and we'll meet, we'll have a coffee together.
Okay, so don't really go around and gather, like, I mean, if it was, it's just kind of trying to think about how I what the goals of that call would be. And
it's really going to depend. So if people are talking to you and they're
right.
like, yeah, actually, I've been really interested on what's going on. Say, okay, cool. Well, what's your email and your phone number?
Right.
And what would you prefer me to contact you on? So they give it, and you're like, okay, so do you prefer, like, did you want me to give you a call, or is an email fine? I'll shoot you some stats. Like, so if they're asking about home prices, you say, okay, well, why don't, I do have to run, but why don't I shoot off an email with a bunch of the home prices for you? Like, would that be cool? And they're like, yeah, that'd be really great. Okay, what's your email? Do not look up. Don't look up. I'm going to give you a tip. What's your email address?
True. Yes. Tell me. Yeah.
Angela, I love that.
Me too.
Because the assumption is you're just going to give it to me and I'm going to stay like this. It's like whoever talks first, it's whoever looks up first loses.
I love it, because you can lose the email. Love it.
Right. So, it's, or you can say, okay, what's your first name? Like, what's your name? And they'll tell you. And then you're like, and your email? And if they don't say anything, you're like, okay, so your name's, does it start with George? Just don't look up. You'll be surprised.
No, I like the tips.
If you don't look up, they're more forthcoming.
It's the assumptive, you're going to give me your email, so we're not going to make eye contact yet, because we're not saying goodbye yet. I still need your email.
Right. I still.
Good. Okay. That's great.
Right. And if it's been a while and you're like, you're going to know when that moment's passed where you're like, I feel stupid now. And you're like, so you're going to look up and you're like, oh, so you didn't want it? Like, you're going to be really confused. Like,
what happened?
Why am I like, and really be like that? Why am I sitting here? Did I miss something? Did you leave? Like, did you want this?
That's
and if
perfect.
you're like, well, you're like, okay, cool. Well, I really got to run, like, because you're going to be back next month. The whole point of geographic farming, my recommendation, keep it small. The first time you go do it, 25 homes. Just do 25 homes. You're going to write those 25 homes on a piece of paper. All right. And this is just from my experience. I don't know if anyone else teaches it this way, but this is what I'm going to tell you guys. This is how I teach my people. Write 25 addresses on a piece of paper. Have your 25 things you're going to give out. Day 1, you're going to door knock on those 25 homes. Oh, number 4 opened up. Give it conversation. Cool. And you leave. I grab my phone and I hit the notes and I go, for Rosedale, good conversation. Didn't get info.
Oh, that's great.
Took
I
flyer.
didn't know the note thing. Okay.
Yeah, you just dictate it into the note. So then you move on. Knock, knock, knock. Nope. Knock, knock, knock. Nope. Knock, knock, knock. Nope. Oh, 12. Rosedale. Told me to go away. Didn't take my flyer. Okay, cool. Knock, 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 knock. Okay, so now the end of our day is here. 4 people of the 25 opened their doors. You're gonna go back to your system. So you're gonna take your piece of paper and you're gonna write what time you went, the day. So Wednesday, 4. These 4 people opened it up. And so you got your 25 sheet and you have 4 homes that have opened up 4 notes. Now you schedule your next day and you're like, okay, I only got 4 people Wednesday at 4. All right, let's try Friday at 2. Let's try it. So then you go. And now we have, if 4 people opened, you got 21 flyers left. And you have in your thing who you did. So you're like, okay, I got to skip 4. I got to skip 8, this and this. Knock, 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 knock. Because you're going to skip over them. You met with them, right? Knock, 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 knock. You're done for the day. You come home, you got your notes in your little note thing on your phone and you write them in. And now, maybe you got 6 that day. 2 things are happening. You're making sure you connect with all 25 people and you have a whole month to do it,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Number two, you're slowly learning when is the best time that your neighborhood's home.
Yeah, like maybe like a Saturday, go for a walk on a Saturday up in the subdivision and behind, and everybody's chatting and they're doing their
Absolutely.
lawns and their.
Yep.
I really want to knock on doors. I feel very comfortable with that. I did that at business and it went quite well.
And it's the best place to get listings. And
I've been here for 40 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And they know you. And so the important thing to know is that it has to be consistent, which is why I say you pick a very small amount of homes. And if you can get through all 25 homes in that month, let's say you knock it off week 2, you're done. You're like, man, I went out every day and I did cool. Get a second page, add 25 homes.
So you don't leave anything behind.
I don't leave anything behind.
Okay.
Now you may, you know what, if you do it all for, if you're like, I'm giving myself a month to get those 25 homes and you have to keep going back and there's one house and you just, what you may want to do is you may want to, at that point, you're like, I did really well and I got all my 25 homes done in 2 weeks. And you're like, I'm ready for another 25 homes.
Yeah.
And let's say there's one house that maybe you want to like knock on that door at the beginning of your other 25, or they just might be a lost cause, right? The big thing is that people tend to believe that they're going to do this and then they don't, or they'll do it for 1 month and then 2 months and then they stop and they're like, this is a waste of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to do it consistently.
Yeah.
You need to only do enough that you're actually going to be able to visit those people every month. And you have to let them know that you'll be back every month. Oh, I'll be back next month. Have a great day.
You gotta be there.
Yeah, because
what's the intro flyer or document that you would recommend going out with? Just
some stats on the neighborhood and some sold, whatever's selling.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here, I'll show you what I go out with. I just made up my new one.
Awesome. Because I love door knocking. Weird, but why not just let people know?
You know what? Everyone's going to have their niche. Just one sec.
And you did this in Command Designs?
No, I don't use Command Designs. I have a photography and design background. So
you got some skills. All right.
I'm just weird. I just do some stuff. So I'm a little bit of I even have a marketing person and I still do most of my own stuff. Actually, this is what I do. I make her start it and then I change everything.
That's all right.
Nice.
But I need the template, like in my head, I need the template. And I'm just too busy to do otherwise. Okay, wait a second. I can't do 2 things at once. So stop talking to me. There we go. Yeah, I'm real honest. Okay, so this is what I do. So think of a selling. I put the little map, Rockingham stats. You just pull it from Paragon. A little bit about why I care. This is my neighborhood. This is why we care. Oh, that's Simon's. He lives in our neighborhood too. And then I just went on Paragon and I picked the 8 most recent sales that make sense to the type of homes I'm trying to get. And you pick what's it called? It's literally a template in Paragon. And this is what it brings up. And I just PDF it or make it an image. Yeah, I think I just made it an image. And I stuck it on Canva and I printed her out.
Oh, you did this all on Canva.
So yeah, so this is on Canva. I made this on Canva. And this I printed straight from Paragon. Right? Don't make yourself do more work than you have to.
And then we just need to get this approved by a broker, right? Or managing broker.
Just make sure that you got the right stuff on there and your Keller Williams is on there. And the best part about it is page 2 has most of the stuff you need. Maybe not. You
So
might
just a
like this.
two-sided color document and rock and roll.
two-side color document, rock and roll. And if you don't have a whole lot of money and you're like, man, I don't have any cash, do it in black and white. Really, you know, a lot of people believe that it's what they're giving out. It's not. It's knocking on that door. It's that
It's true.
conversation. And then what you do is you're done. You know, you did it. You did your 25 homes. You're going to enter those people into Paragon. Now you're like, well, what if I didn't get any of their information? Well, property online, you know who they are, at least you assume, unless they're renting. You know who they are and you know their address. So what you're doing, you just put them into your CRM and you're just going to say they opened the door this time, had a quick conversation. That's all.
So are you putting them in Paragon or Command?
Sorry, Command. Did I say
Okay,
Paragon?
good. Yeah, sorry, my heart stopped. I'm like, oh crap. I'm
Good
putting
job,
stuff in
Sherry. You know the
Command.
difference. Yay! That's a big thing. I'm really excited about that. I kind of picked up on that. I'm like, yes. I don't know much about the systems, but I know that. That's good.
Yeah,
Good way to
sorry.
end.
Your CRM, you're going to put them in Command. And even, you know, and I'm going to give this advice for when you're, you know, so that's geographic farming, right? You got to be consistent. You got to let them know that you're like, you're from the area or you're going to be this area's realtor. And you don't care who else is this area's realtor. You're now going to be this area realtor. And, you know, every month can be a little different, come from contribution. Maybe it's, you know, find something that's happening in the area. And so that's next month, you're going to put it on, say, oh, I just wanted you to know what the event happening, you know, because you're going to be more than just real estate. Remember that you are more than just real estate. And in every conversation that you have, you're more than just real estate. I got a couple more things. I know I went over my time. I'm so sorry for those who are still with us. Where is my sheet? No. What area? Oh, here we go. Sorry. All right. So you got geographic farming. You can also do this inside apartment buildings, right? If they don't have a little code, or, you know, condos. Some people say, well, how do I get in if they do? Well, there are ways. Wait for a lot of activity and then walk up as if you're visiting someone. Oh, thanks. And you slip in. I know it's not really ethical, but there's other ways. You hit a couple buttons and some people are just like, oh, I wonder who's visiting me. They let you in. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You may get kicked out. It is a thing. But really you just go as quick as you can until you don't get kicked out. What else? Open houses for those who are doing them right now. Fantastic way to pick up business, and offer to do other people's open houses. You'd be surprised the people who, like, a lot of the higher up people who are doing a lot of business, maybe they don't do open houses anymore because they don't want to. This isn't really the market for it. So why would they? But they may want you to do it. You're like, oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, go do my open house. Past clients is a big one. And this could be your own past clients, but this is also could be past clients from another business you've done. So I've been in business for 22 years, and I've done a little of everything. And I have people wide and far that know me. And then one of the big, you know, our sphere of influence, it's a big one. But the yellow pages, and this comes back to, you know, when you're like, sure.
No.
Just kidding, but true. It does.
But
They have a ton of data. A ton.
They have a lot of data. And here's the best part is, you know how we were originally talking about your what is in your life? Well, go to the yellow pages and just look at the headings. They're going to give you one by one. And you're like, oh yeah, I got that a person in there. Write that heading down and keep going. So you'd be surprised. And then there's a ton of businesses. Facebook is fantastic because you have an entire sphere of influence there and an entire amount of business people there. And again, you're going to reach out, you know, for your sphere of influence, you reach out, and if you got a good conversation with the person, letting them know you're in real estate, you're going to take that person and you're going to put it in your CRM, put it in Command. And so my agents will sometimes go, yeah, but I don't have any information. I just contact them on Facebook. That's fine. You're going to put their name, and in the notes, not like your activity notes, but like maybe a little farther down where it's like a boat me or whatever, or there's a couple custom fields, you're going to put in Facebook contact. So what that's going to do is you can set up a smart plan to make sure that you reach out to that person once a month. And maybe you reach out to that person and you're like, okay, you made your plan that today when you contact people, you're going to tell them about an event happening. It's not about you, right? Because you've already kind of set them in real estate. So now what? You can't go back and say, oh, hey, it's been a month, so I just want to remind you I'm in real estate. Really? No, that's right. Like, I know that I can't tell you guys to do it because it's not going to happen. So you say, what can I give? Maybe an interest rate went down. Maybe something happened. So you need to plan this, because you're going to say, okay, all week for this whole week, this, I know there's an event happening on Friday, really cool event. You can make up like a little template, a little like JPEG, make it on Canva, make it in Command Design. That's what it's called. You're going to make it, and it's going to be about the event. And you're literally, your touch is going to be, hey, I just wanted everybody to know about this awesome event. I have nothing to do with it, but like, I'm in real estate, and I want to let my sphere, I want to let my people know about cool things. Here you go. And then you're going to go into Command and you're going to say what you did. I sent the flyer. Right? It's just, if they're not in Command and you don't have a smart plan to remind you, you will forget them. And it's going to really get under your skin if you knew that 3 months from now they bought a house and you just had to be there. Just had to be there. So there's lots of other things. We talked about door knocking. We talked about, going through the many sphere of influences of your life. Facebook, reach out to those businesses. And it's going to be, hey, I'm Angela, I'm in real estate, but I noticed that you sell this. I really like to support the people in the community. And I was wondering if there's something I can do to help share your business. Yeah, nice. like, can I do like I'm gonna like Facebook shout you out whenever I see you post, right? Because I think that what you're doing here is really great. And I want just give that little bit of extra to succeed. People are putting on contests all the time to try to get you to like the page and share the page. But you're saying, going, I support you. I think your business is fantastic. And I think what you're doing is amazing. And like, I'm going to share your stuff whenever I see it, but like, is there anything else I can do? And they're like, oh, geez, I don't really know. Oh, could you mail me some business cards? And their mind immediately is like, man, this person's like really trying to help out. Cool. But I bet you they'll remember you. And every time you share their stuff, what do they see? They're not seeing their stuff being shared. They're seeing that you shared it.
Yep.
And you're in real estate. And when they have someone that wants to sell their house, they're gonna be like, listen, this chick, this person like supports me like crazy. You got to use them. They support me. I got to support them. Like, do you see what I mean? Like, it has to come from contribution.
Absolutely.
And it's very easy to find people to backhandedly remind them you're in real estate or tell them in your real estate, because you just have to compliment them and say, how can I help you?
Wonderful.
Right? So there's a million other things that you could put money into, like you could go on television not that cable's really a thing much.
I was good. Is that still a thing?
It is still a thing, but and you could do, holiday and any type of celebratory card, pushing that out. That's, whenever there's a holiday, it's always nice that you walk around and you're like, oh, I just wanted to, and this is for like your neighborhood, your neighborhood farming or your sphere of influence on Facebook, right? Because anyone in your database, if you already have their email and phone number, you can send out that card. But it's really good to just, I wanted to give you this Christmas card, have a great Christmas. Next door, knock, 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 they open. I just had a Christmas card for you. I've seen you all year, and happy holidays. Next door, just giving this card out, happy holidays. So use the things going on in our world, right? Like use holidays and all this stuff to just Say thank you, just a touch. Just remember,
Now,
everything's
is it appropriate to put your contact information in there, or is that too much?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
So toss a business card in the Christmas card, that idea, or just have something written in it that has your details?
Anything you want, anything you want. Because
Mhm.
people will care more about that Christmas card or holiday card than the fact that you attached your business card. Of course you did, duh, right? But you
Yeah,
didn't.
exactly.
You think about it. You're concerned about putting your card there, but who else went around and gave them a holiday card?
True story. What about fridge magnets?
Yeah, you could do it. They're expensive.
They are. They are for sure. But I can tell you that now, having said that, I haven't used or recommended either realtor that gave me magnets.
Right? Because it's more about the relationship. Right?
Well, and in all honesty, the one that did it in my local neighborhood didn't ever come back.
Right. So
And I
why-
actually had said to her, I'm like, it's so awesome that you live right in this neighborhood. I would love to connect with you again. She never stopped in to see me again.
Right. Because people want instant gratifications. And if they don't get
Yeah.
it, they move on. People try, and I will give this advice. Do not try to do everything.
I know. I'm gonna have to focus just on one thing and just
One
try to do that.
So, and you can do two things. You can like run ads. And does that make sense?
Yes, I am gonna try to do the free things first.
Free.
Free first.
Free.
And go from there. So thank
So,
you
yeah.
so much, Angela. Really appreciate
Your
it.
homework. Here's your homework for anyone who's still listening and whoever
It's
watches
me.
this afterwards. Is it just me and you left?
Yeah.
Oh, me and you.
Hey, you.
Um,
It's like a one-on-one now.
Yes. So homework for anyone who watches this afterwards. You need to prepare who you're going to talk to. Prepare your list, okay? You need to say your affirmations, the things that you're not good at, the things that you want, the goals, your big why. Talk it out. Say you're going to get it. Say how you're going to get it. Make your brain believe it's happening. Practice your scripts. Even if you don't put them in front of you when you talk to people, you practice them. That stuff will wiggle its way into that brain, right? It's all about training it. And then you'll put your spin on it. So that's prepare. Prospect. Just prospect every day. Just every day. And a good way of doing it is all those ideas that we talked about, what is going on in your life. You're going to start writing people under them now. And then when you do, you transfer that into your database. Those are your 10 people a day. Those are the 10 people you talk to, right? And then you just keep rotating. So prospect and update that database. And then you maintain it. So you track your results, right? You schedule commitments and make sure that you write those thank you notes. So if you are farming, that's easy. Way easy to write a note. If they stopped and they opened that door, mail a little card out. Thank you so much for opening your door and having a conversation with me. Right? Because not a lot of people do it, but that note goes out. And if you've had a conversation on the phone with someone, send them a text message, thank them for their time, and let them know that you'll talk at some point with them again.
So is the dollar store the best spot to grab thank you cards?
Yeah, they have cute, cheap thank you cards. I mean, you could go online and you can order them from Amazon and stuff, but the dollar store has a ton. They are very nice. I mean, you could try Michael's and stuff, right?
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
working from free and then super cheap and
Yes.
I'll work my way up.
Absolutely, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. So you put them all together and you essentially just, like I told everyone at the beginning, you have a mission, go through your mission plan, and that'll set you up for your Ignite session 4. Capture, connect, close, or cultivate. That's it, girlfriend.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your time, Angela.
No worries.
It was incredible. Loved it. Loved
Put
it.
10 people in every day.
Yeah, I've sucked at it, admittedly, because my head's been on my listing, but it's I'm starting to see that the clouds are parting on that, and I'm starting to feel less panicky about the urgency.
Yep.
which has only been existing in my head, apparently. I didn't realize.
Yep.
So it's fine. I'm getting there.
It's all good. It's learning process, right? Like I said, this isn't easy. And anyone who's like, getting into real estate, it's easy. We didn't tell you it was easy right from the beginning.
Oh, no.
We said you'd be good at it.
Yeah, there's a difference.
There's a difference, right? So no, just one step at a time. And please don't do everything.
Yeah.
Focus on one thing. Obviously, your sphere of influence is always going to be there. You got to focus on that. Referrals, repeat clients, all that stuff. But then one other thing, whether it's sale by owner people, whether it's, door knocking, whether it's cold calling straight from the yellow pages, whatever it is you decide, you work on that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right.
Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.
Bye.